Oh my god.
I'm a little...
We did it.
Hey!
We're here.
Hey.
Hello.
Oh my gosh. Hey everybody, welcome to Legendary Action. This is our new Saturday show titled Steel is for Men, set in the Witcher universe. Got some new people here that I'm really excited to introduce to you. We made it. I am really stoked and super frozen right now. Like, what do I do with my hands? No. But today we're here to play The Witcher. We're starting this new campaign and we are ecstatic. We've been working on this for a long time. And it still felt like we didn't have enough time. I think that's just the nature of production in general, probably. I don't know. Or maybe I just suck at it. I don't know. We'll find out. But either way, let's jump into introductions. My name is Justin. You can see me on the Friday show. I've done some one-shots as well. I am the sole, unfortunate enough to be the dungeon master or game master, I guess, for this game, of this fine group of people who are way more qualified than I am. And speaking of, we're going to go ahead and go around the table with some introductions, and we'll start with Mike, because you've done this before.
One or two times. Hi, everybody. My name is Mike, or Meta Mike in the chats and handle. So if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I can answer them for the majority of the time. I am normally Godric Anguson, a very angry barbarian on Fridays, but I have graced this table to play something completely different. And I'm quite excited to experience The Witcher with a new group of role players and kind of interact with new people, because I enjoy D&D and role-playing games, and interacting with new faces and how they interact as well is always super fun. So I'm ecstatic.
That was good, because you didn't want to reuse your word. Win, Mike?
Wonderful.
Oh, yes. Yes, he used to say wonderful a lot, and then we started making fun of him about it.
It's
That's how we make
year.
each other better in our group of friends.
I have a new word every year so far.
It's our toxic
actually, now that I
trait.
think about it.
What's your new word this year?
Great show.
Twiddle-pated.
He made that up.
That's not
But I'm really excited you're here. He's going to be guest spotting for us for a while, kind of helping some of the newer people at the table a little bit, as well as just in general, just being a little bit of like my exposition voice, and plus I had a seat available, and I really wanted you here. So,
Guests are fun.
yeah, I'm happy you're here, man.
I'm excited to experience The Witcher. I really am.
Chase.
I am also not new to this. If you're an OG member of the audience, you will know me from the show initially as Lucian, who is now, since what the party thinks betrayed them. But now I am playing Felix, a human, and there's really not a lot I can tell you now. You'll just have to stick around and kind of find out what happens with my character.
Yeah. Cameron.
Hello, my name is Cameron. I honestly thought this was like a chess club. I don't know the rules. I don't really have a character, so I'm just going to be winging it tonight.
There's always one person. It's actually a running gag that one of the people at the table is someone we just dragged off the streets and play this game with.
That is true.
It is,
Yeah.
Every guest
only
is just
here
we found this guy
because-
homeless on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, it is cold outside, so we had to drag them inside. To do
Yeah.
it.
So
If you're cold, they're cold.
Yes.
if we could switch to chess really quick, that would be good for me, because I'm a little nervous about
I don't
this.
think we're going to do that.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
40
Knight to
chess maker.
I'll be
E40.
winging it.
winging
Let
it.
me get started on my character.
If your character was a chess piece, what chess piece would it be?
Oh, God.
Say a rook.
Knights are so cool, but I'm
Bishop.
probably just a pawn.
Nice.
But a really nice looking
I
pawn.
like that.
Maybe
like
an interesting
it.
one with like a chip on it or something.
He understands the grit and darkness that awaits.
Yeah, I'm kind of nervous. This
Just
game's
a
scary.
pawn in the game.
Swords are scary in this game.
Everything's scary in this game. It is a much more brutal system than D&D 5e normally is. That's for sure. There's a lot of nuances to the game, and it's I'm really excited to throw some violent things at you.
Yay!
Don't tell me what to do. I'm the boss of you.
No.
Oh, that's what you thought. Oh no, sweetie.
You can tell I was serious because my voice got really high pitched.
Yeah, that's,
right,
that's
right.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the way to establish dominance is go higher in pitch.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Totally.
Totally.
Cambria.
Yeah, hi everybody. I am Cambria. I would consider myself to be relatively nerdy, but more in the sense that I got a minor in folklore, like who does that. So I've read the Witcher books and pretty much the majority of the major fantasy series out there, but I've never actually done a Twitch live stream, so this is going to be totally new for me, and I hope I don't royally F it up. But definitely excited to be here. I brought my calculator because, as we learned during our pre-games, I'm really terrible at mental math, so I am prepped and ready to go. Yeah,
I was prepped
super
to
excited.
also just be the calculator.
Yes, I look at
That's
Chase
true.
a lot. If you see me looking this way,
Yeah.
that's because I'm looking at Chase.
Yeah. Well,
Taste of the.
he's got the math down.
Yeah. Anytime anyone rolls, I just look over and I just wait for numbers to be spat at me, and I'm like,
It's
That's great.
22.
Yeah.
I just hear the numbers, and I'm like, I'll give them a second. We'll see if they get it.
You
I don't.
you brought up that you've never played like on a live stream before.
Yeah.
I think it's just you and Cameron that
Yeah,
have
I
it,
never
right?
have.
Yeah.
Cam and Cam Square.
Cam,
Yeah.
Cam.
Cam's
Yeah.
Cam corner.
Yeah.
Like literally.
I don't know
It's
if
a
they can
Cam
see that,
corner.
but yeah.
It's Cam corner. They can't see
Best
that.
friend
No.
tattoo.
Yeah.
They can't
Yeah.
see that you two are in the corner. That's
That is
really good though.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
You-
clip that
you
because
planned
we're
that
using it
out.
for something.
Thanks, I
totally
hate
did.
it.
By the way, it's important to note that everything you create right now while we're live is property of Legendary Action. So that's ours. That's ours.
Okay. It's your table. It's your corner.
See, he gets it.
Yeah, it's fine.
You have to fight for the Cam corner.
Hi, my name's Tony. Not new to, tabletop RPGs, but semi new to being live streamed. I joined one other time through for a one shot
Oh, yeah, just recently.
for Halloween.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
played
actually,
Dread.
if you remember that. I don't know if any of you joined. I'm relatively nerdy though. I've been playing D&D and such for many years, since middle school probably. Love the Witcher series, video games, the new Netflix series that came out. Haven't read the books yet. I'm getting started on that soon. Don't worry. But yeah, no, I'm very happy to be here. Very excited. It's gonna be very fun.
Books are awesome.
Yeah.
You know, Christmas is coming up, so do me a favor and don't buy those books. I'm really bad at giving gifts.
Should I
so-
cancel my Amazon order?
Well,
Yeah.
I'm really happy you're here.
Yeah,
I really
very
am.
happy to be
We've
here.
known each other for 3 years.
3, 4, something like
3 or
that.
4.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was really excited when I had the opportunity to invite you to join, and it was kind of in passing. It was one of those things where it's like, well, I mean, we're doing a thing if you wanted to, because
And
I
I'm like,
expected
yes.
you to be like, I'll think about it. And yeah, you were like, hell yes, let's go.
Sign me up.
Oh man. All right, and Jess.
Hey, I'm Jess. I'm a local cosplayer, nerd, musician, voice actor. I have live streamed before D&D. I'm actually a leaf steeper, forest gnome, druid of the moon, on the 8-Bit Communities channel on Twitch. But you can also find me on Twitch as Jest Bubbles, as JEST Bubbles, no troubles. And yeah, I'm excited to be here. You can find more of my stuff at jestbu.bz.
Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and run the intro credits, and then when we get back, we will be ready to play the game. Were that it were still an age of witchers, and better still, an age without monsters. 30 years ago, one of the last and greatest witchers, the White Wolf, was rumored to have defeated Eredin and the Wild Hunt, saving the continent from an untimely end. The world persisted, and in that persistence, the monsters of old became bold. You see, without witchers, monsters are given free rein. Ghouls roam the aftermath of battlefields. Fiends take cattle in broad daylight. Griffins are seen flying in teams. And a dragon was seen flying west over Cadwin. Worse yet, a vampire is rumored to have taken up residence and authority over a mist-shrouded barony. Yet there may be something these monsters will grow to fear. A beast slayer from Zerikania, new to the western shores, has been seen near the Nilfgaardian border. Nilfgaard, a name that replaced villain in too many places. The Emperor, the white flame that dances upon his enemies, is weakening. And with that, his great nation hasn't attacked since the failed siege of Banard 3 years ago. Its scar is felt, however, leaving Cadwin engaged in a bitter civil war between the bastard Prince Odrin and King Henselt, a man left to mourning after the assassination of his beloved wife and queen, Ellen. West of Cadwin, Temeria, once proud, is now a lawless land of thieves and nobles, if there is a difference, all vying for a throne that no longer exists. Further north, Redania continues to burn mages at the stake. "Suffer not the witch to live," can be heard during daily mass by the followers of the Church of the Eternal Fire. Southwest in Centra, it is said the ghost of Queen Calanthe herself is gathering an army of the dead to take back her beloved kingdom. Aretuza has been rebuilt, and a whole new generation of mages are being trained to give counsel to the nobles of the north once again. And in the north, no other mages are being schooled, not since the walls of Banard were blackened in the siege. And yet our story begins in the kingdom of Lyria, just outside the village of Scala, a quiet home. Its inhabitants unaware their streets may soon run black with blood. And that's where we're going to open. Just outside on the road to Scala, you hear the sound of hooves beating against the ground. Felix, you feel weak. You open your eyes and look around. You feel a presence on your back holding you in the saddle as this horse just tears down the road. You hear the voice of someone nearby whispering to you. Kvass, you are the one holding Felix in the saddle, tearing at a speed your horse doesn't get to run at too often.
Ride swift, Koi. Ride true.
And your horse does. Would you take the time to describe your character for me, please?
I am a slender and small woman of tan skin and sun-bleached hair, with eyes piercing like a cat. And I'm wearing these flowing, cool maroon linen robes, and there are patterns that remind me that are symbolize home for me to the east in Zerikania. I am Kvass, the Viperess.
All right, Kvass, you tear down the road with this boy, Felix, in your saddle. Just recently you remembered the fight that led you to him, the sign you were given by the dragon you're searching for. But you had no idea what you were going to find when you got to that keep. The depredations of these criminals or mercenaries and their mage leader. You fought through the halls, killing many a man, when you happened upon a room that could only be described as a laboratory. In this room there were 3 boys dead, and one still breathing. As you approached and looked down upon him, this mage nowhere in sight after having killed some of his men, you realized something alarming. Felix had been experimented on. He was in the throes of what might be some bastardization of the Witcher trials. And it didn't look like he had long to live. But you heard that voice of the dragon inside your head yet again. Save him. Save him. And with that, you scooped him up and you rushed out the door. You jumped onto your horse and you started heading towards Scala. The only thing going on in your head over and over is that the only way he'll survive is if he can complete the trials. But how? That would require a mage. And you don't know where you're going to find one of those. But Scala is the nearest town. On the southern border of Lyria, on the edges of the Pontar River. Sodden. It's the Sodden River. Anyway, you push frantically. You can hear the breaths of your horse as they try to suck in air. And finally you reach the edges of the city. Or village, more accurately. There are no walls here. There is no town watch or presence of soldiers of any sort. It's a farming village. They've made a small name for themselves with a new artisans guild that had moved in, but it's a quiet place. The fog has started to roll in the early evening, and as you round the corner, wondering where to go, there's a man standing in the street. Looks like he was gathering some sort of supplies or something, but you almost run him over on horseback before you slow to a stop.
Reeling the reins. Whoa.
Brahm, would you like to introduce yourself?
So this a tall, lanky man with long black and white aging hair that runs to actually about the middle of his back, where it's finally braided along the end, with golden earrings with large jewels on either side of his ears, and on his right brow actually has 2 rings pierced that are also gold. His face is shapely with a sharp goatee that curls at the ends and points at the bottom. Atop his head is a large red hat folded on one side with a white feather that streaks across. In a very nice slashed red and white tunic, he stands with rapier and a mangouche in either side, both with red couplets. Is that the right word?
You're talking about the hilt of the blade itself, a cup hilt.
Cup hilt. With rings adorning every finger, with gemstones and regular bands alike, adorned with fanciful colors and gold alike. He looks very not supposed to be here.
He definitely stands out. He probably the items he's wearing are probably worth more than most of this town.
Man, magic. I needed a mage. The boy is fading. Fast.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
I need a mage. Now.
One does not simply ride into town and ask for a mage.
As she says that, you think back to what you're doing in town anyways. You recently invited an old friend of yours by the name of Kara. You invited her to meet with a new friend of yours by the name of Morana. They have similar goals, or they align at least enough. And you being the tradesman that you are, you try to find a way to make a coin in any way that you can. And in this, you decided to play the part of the middleman. There's this slight suspicion you have, being so well-traveled and educated as you are, that even though she hides it extremely well, one of those two might actually be a mage. And she's staying at the Rat's Rest Inn right now.
Why do you need a mage?
Questions later.
Generally, the questions come first.
The boy is dying.
She says that with exasperation, and when she looks down at you, you notice gleaming yellow cat eyes.
Those are weird, and I might be able to help you. So, follow me. And
Steadfast.
how far is it from here to the where she might be staying?
About a block and a half.
Actually, just jog over there.
Okay.
It's not worth my time to unlatch my horse and the giant cart that's being tugged along as well.
Okay. So you head over to these to this tavern. You see the almost dilapidated walls, the thatched roof of this tavern. A large second story off to the right. You can see some lights on the inside. You hear a light instrument of some sort playing, a string instrument. Not with any particular skill, but it's better than the awkward silence that would accompany a room full of dour drinking laborers. Just outside, you can see a small stable that has been set up. You see some horses in there. And overall, the tavern looks fairly busy tonight. Looking past the tavern, up a winding road, you can see at the top of a hill a small wooden fortress has been there probably a couple decades at least. It shows some signs of wear, but it is maintained. Up there you can see torches and the flag of the local lord, just as the sun is setting behind it. And there's just this feeling you can't shake. Maybe it was the eyes of the woman behind you, but something big is happening.
Hurry, get off the horse. Follow me inside. She should be upstairs in one of the rooms.
Thank you, sir.
And I'll open the door, and is it crowded?
Not crowded, no. It is that the tavern itself is in use for sure. There's a couple small groups here and there. It's probably at about 2/3, half capacity. You know, a good solid like 20 to 30 people in here.
So I'm gonna walk in and think about it, and just kind of raise my hat. Gentlemen, everybody here, drinks are on me for the first round.
Yeah! Everybody raises their glasses, and the barkeep kind of looks over at you.
And I pull out two gold crowns.
Okay.
And kind of just toss them to him, and say, "Everyone, go to the barkeep." And as that happens, I'll lean back out the door. The coast should be mostly clear. Go.
And I unsaddle from Koi. I pick up the boy with this large tome, this book, right on top, and I carry him inside.
And then I'll go, once she's inside and I see everyone's kind of mostly distracted, I'll move with her up to the stairs to introduce, or help with introductions.
Okay. So you two hurry up the stairs, and you believe that Morana's room was on the right, actually, and you approach and knock on the door when you hear a voice from the other side.
Who is this?
It is me, Brum.
I open the door. Brom, what is the meaning of this?
I actually pull my hat off. I hate to disturb you, my lady, but we need your assistance, and I'm not one to know the business of others without asking, but I can only assume you could help him.
As Brom steps out of the way and says that, you get to see Morana for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and describe yourself.
So I am a petite woman, probably around 5 foot, 5'1". Very unassuming in stature, but the moment that you take a good look at me, you can see that there's a fierceness and determination in my eyes that speaks to a power stronger than you would assume by my physical nature. I wear elegant but practical clothing, and I have a medallion around my neck that looks like a silver snowflake.
Very cool.
This boy needs your assistance now. May we come in?
Yes, what happened to him?
I'm immediately gonna open the door and bring him inside.
So she carries Felix inside, and you can see just as the boy is passing, his skin is very pallid. Some of his veins are running black. His eyes look like they're maybe bleeding or something. He's gasping for air and looks maybe poisoned or something. But you're astute, and that's not all you notice. The woman who brings this boy in, she's armed and decently well armored, if not more so than you'd expect a traveler to see. But more importantly, you see those yellow witcher eyes.
And I notice the eyes, and I give her a good solid stare for a couple of seconds before I ask, "Can you tell me what happened to him?"
He's befelled by foul magic, a mage. Unlike yourself, I give the tome. Have you heard of the trials?
Yes, of the Witchers.
Looks like some bastardization of the trials this boy is going through now. It needs to be complete or he's gone.
But the trials...
You are a mage. You can do this. Finish this.
The trials have not been completed for years.
Looks like someone's trying.
I'll speak up at that. Well, if it's going to be this discussion, everybody in.
Shove them all into the room?
Yes,
Okay.
forcefully. In.
Okay.
Secrets are best left with shut doors.
As long as that's happening downstairs, man you had briefly met before, Brahm, as you're traveling with Morana, just bought drinks for everybody and fairly unsubtly said, look that way, not this way, and you feel this sort of natural protector role around your friends. So Avery, sitting at the bar, you look up towards the stairs and you caught just the tail end of Brahm and somebody else scurrying up the stairs. Would you describe yourself to me?
I'm a young man, heavily armored, with a sandy blonde, unkept white hair. I have a thin, wiry beard, sharp green eyes, and sunburned cheeks. I'm dressed in brigandine armor that's painted with feathers, and I wear a very colorful cloak that's decorated with all manner of feathers that I've collected from the road.
Oh. Okay.
I wear a large sword with an elaborate hilt. Doesn't quite match the rest of my outfit. Looks quite valuable.
That it does. And next to you, a new friend you had recently met, and you have been drinking with this entire time, Kara. Would you describe yourself?
Yeah, I am very tall, tall-ish, about 5'11", built, broader, red-haired, shaved sides. You can see tattoos peeking up from on the back of my shoulders in the elder speech. I'm wearing a basically across my lap at the moment is a worn leather cloak with wolf fur, with a wolf pelt, and a long bow leaning against the counter. And I'm just wearing your basic worn leathers, well loved, well taken care of, but definitely old.
All right. So as you turned and noticed this, you consider what to do for a second when you hear a light bump and a crash just off to your right. You turn and look, and one of the laborers has bumped into you. It seemed pretty odd, like that he did it on purpose, and he knocked your drink to the ground.
Whoop. Excuse me there, lass. Guess I should probably get you another one.
You probably should, yes.
That's what I said.
Yes, so do it.
And
Right.
a towel.
I don't clean things. I'm
Well, you
sorry.
should clean that. It's your mess.
I'm sorry. Is she your lady?
I'm nobody's lady.
Doesn't matter.
Oh, nobody's lady. Well, perhaps you'd want to be mine.
After this incident, I don't think so.
He
Clean
kind of
this up.
scoots closer. You can smell the alcohol on his breath. You can see bits of bread and soup still in his beard. He's a fairly large, burly man, but he looks less athletic and more well-fed. But he leans in and kind of puts his elbow on the table.
Well, now that's no way to be talking to the likes of me.
And who is the likes of you? Tell me, enlighten me. After you buy me another drink.
I'm Tom.
Tom?
Yes, everybody knows me.
I don't.
Well, now you do.
What a shame. I just turn to Avery, and just continue.
Okay.
Waiting for that drink.
A couple seconds go by, and Avery cuts in between you, or not Avery, Tom cuts between you and Avery. Just slides right in with his back to Avery.
I wasn't done talking to you, lady.
I basically just reach my hand up and gently, but with some force, push him out of the way.
He resists. Then he goes,
Oh, you want to dance? Come on, let's dance. A pretty lady like you, don't see them around. Look, the three women in here, they're bollocks ugly.
Just your
Then-
type.
I was just about to say the same thing. Oh my goodness. Fast
I'm
friends
going to
already.
stand up and cross my arms.
Okay. So
I also
Avery stands up and crosses his arms behind this thug. But the thug's not really paying attention to Avery right now. He kind of like reaches his hand like to your hip to pull you like towards the musician on the other side of the room.
I basically if you want to see a pretty lady, why don't you turn around?
What?
And he turns around.
Are you no lady?
You want to dance?
Oh, she's a great
Oh,
dancer.
what's your problem, mate?
Let's dance outside if you want to dance.
Oh, you've got a problem.
Yes, and its name is Tom.
Oh, I dance outside. We could
Dance right over there. And he points, and then he takes that finger and curls it into a fist and just swings right at you. Go ahead and roll a check to dodge or block, whatever you're doing.
I'm going to lean out of the way.
Okay.
It's like a rather sloppy punch.
That indeed it was.
21.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. With almost no effort. He's a little drunk and he doesn't look like he's built for combat. So he swings wide and completely misses. Your lean was more of like a show of skill as opposed to you actually needing to. He might have missed if he didn't move. But you lean deftly out of the way and he swings and loses his balance a little bit. And then looks like he's loading up for another punch.
Put my hand on his shoulder and say, "Don't try it."
Roll an intimidation for me. Speaking of, while he's looking that up,
Yeah.
we are going to do our roll of the night. We're going to do our lucky roll.
Someone who is new,
Yes.
roll a d20.
Or pick a number.
Or pick a number between 1 and 20. It's up to you.
Natural 20.
All right. Natural 20 for the night.
Wow.
I was
Ex-
gonna say
Infamous
that.
one, yeah.
Natural
That's,
20, I'll take that.
Exclamation point roll. If you end up with a 20, you can grant inspiration to one of the members of the table. What inspiration is going to allow you to do is it's going to give you 1 free reroll for the night.
So essentially advantage.
Sort of, yeah.
20.
20. Wow. Okay. So you put your hand on his shoulder and you say that, and you don't know if it was the force of your words, the confidence, or maybe just the fact that you're, a stout person who put your hand on his shoulder, but you kind of feel him sink under your hand, and he's like,
I met nothing by it.
Someone already got
just
it.
thought it was a, really?
Yes.
Yeah, it was the third roll.
Really?
Yeah.
Congrats. Who got it?
That was ridiculous.
Who got it?
I will see you later.
I will see you later.
Ow!
That
great
is
name.
really funny.
So choose who you'd like to grant that inspiration to, and then they'll hold on to it until they need to use it.
Wow, 20s are really rare. We
Yeah.
went like what was it,
3
like,
episodes?
Like no, it was like a month and a half of
Oh,
not rolling a
yeah.
20 because it just wasn't working. So 20s are rare.
Jess,
Oh.
you have inspiration.
Yes,
Huzzah.
So,
Oh, that's ironic. Just gonna go ahead and toss a coin to
The
our
Witcher.
Witcher.
Isn't it ironic? Don't you
oh,
think?
you as a blunt.
No way! No!
Someone flip that, please.
Oh, yeah.
Is that lucky or make a wish?
Well, you can't just fish it out.
Oh,
You have to
that's
bring it
true.
to
Yeah.
it.
That's too
You can't
good.
use it till you finish
Yeah,
it.
right.
Oh,
That's pretty lucky.
That is incredible.
I hope you
Well,
didn't
we're off to a
do that.
great start.
You
Wow.
could have
Wow.
planned that if you tried.
No.
Wow. You could have done that another 50 times tonight and you would have never landed it like that.
Not at all.
That is so funny.
Oh, the
Did
odds are
someone clip
definitely
that?
with us. Oh,
my
yeah,
God.
exclamation point clip. We'll pull that and put it up on one of those social medias, whatever the kids are watching these days.
Wow.
I'm not going to apologize.
That brought a good tear to my eye.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready for that.
So his
Oh, man.
his stature kind of sinks under your hand, and I meant nothing by it. I thought it was just a friendly boxing match. I'll leave you to it then.
No, you still gotta buy me my drink.
Oh, of course.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, I suppose I could do that.
Get to
you
it.
will do that, yes.
And he turns and walks away.
Kara, I'd rather not leave you here with this Tom fellow, but there's something I need to check on upstairs. Would you mind coming with me? Don't take this the wrong way.
Can I wait for my drink or do?
Once the drink shows up.
Oh, of course. Then yes.
Good.
Cool.
So seconds later, the one of the tavern servers walks over and hands the drink to you, and she's a short woman, probably 5'4", pushing 180, 200 pounds. She's got that classic low cut dress that's pushing everything up. She's got a nice mole on the right side of her cheek that looks like it's got a couple hairs coming out of it. You're pretty sure she's wearing hand-me-downs of some sort, and they probably haven't been washed in a while, but she slides the drink over, and she goes, "Atta boy, teaching Tom a lesson there. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Yep.
Many as it takes.
Drinks on the house rest of the night."
Oh,
We'll be back down
absolutely.
very
She
quickly.
walks away.
Salut.
You know what day it is? The date.
Date?
The date.
What is the date?
The 4th.
Yes.
I think I missed my birthday. Come on.
Oh, happy late birthday. Let's go.
Hurry towards the stairs. Let's see what that was about.
Okay. You two walk up the stairs, and you get up to the top of the stairs just in time to watch Morana's door close.
Is this where we're supposed to go?
It is.
All right. You two are discussing the finer points of whether or not putting a child through the Witcher trials can be done. There's a knock on the door.
Bloody hell, I'll get it. You do the thing. And I turn and I pop open the door and lean in and look out.
Yeah, you recognize Avery. You two haven't had a lot of conversation, but you've seen him with Morana before.
Open the door. Avery, get.
Bram!
All right. It seems everybody's here. Get the hell in.
What? It's not a very big room.
Ah, we'll squish. It's fine.
Well, we have new friends. Get inside and shut the door. Important things that should not be discussed with open doors.
Inside.
So you walk in, and this is where you see the rest of this this fine group of people. But immediately drawing your eye is the fact that there is a child on the bed who does not look like he's long for this world.
What'd you do?
Well, so if I were to hazard a guess, that's a Witcher, that's a boy going through some shit that probably needs a mage, and that's a mage.
And here's a tome with all the instructions. Let's complete this already. He's fading.
What she said.
That is a bold assumption that I am a mage. Listen, I understand that he needs my help. So, if any of you utter a word of what you have seen in this room tonight, you have heard the stories of what mages can do, so know that I will come for you.
I would absolutely not like to be a newt, so I agree.
Thank you. Avery, can you please watch the door? Okay,
Turn my back.
this book.
Draw my
I
sword.
found this tome in the laboratory where I found the boy.
I grabbed the book from her.
Okay.
And I start thumbing through it, and my face goes incredibly white as I see what is written there and understand the implications of what this is.
He must survive.
I understand. So I set the book down on the side table, and I go over to the boy on the bed, and I brush the hair off of his forehead and squeeze his hand.
Weakly, I try to squeeze back, but it's so faint.
Hey, what do you look like?
I am a pretty small for my age. I am 12 years old, and probably about 4'2" at this point. Pretty short, kind of spiky, but not like spiked up like with gel spiky, but just naturally spiked up hair. No visible anything really interesting about the character. Just a very normal 12-year-old boy.
Okay.
So
So,
obviously, right now looks pretty terrible.
right, yeah, it's a pallid flesh, yeah, dark veins, and there's this pain, almost this burning fire in your chest that occasionally spikes up into your your head, it's worse than any migraine anyone could have ever felt. It is everything you can do not to cry out, and you're not sure why you're trying so hard not to cry out. But as you were glancing through the book, this is the first time you've ever seen any novel on the trials. And this book, you can tell just by looking at it, it is old. And it's got a lot of notes in it. Notes written by, from what you can tell, possibly other witchers. Notes by lots of mages. You see lots of corrections to alchemical formulae. Some things that say, no, certain death, and then it's crossed out, and other things on it. There's a couple major things that you notice in there, and that's the fact that there are stages of these trials, and that they have to be done in a very specific order, and that it's already 3 out of every 10 boys can survive. And you have no idea what part of the trials he's already gone through, if anything at all. But as you look through that book, I want you to roll me 2 checks. The first is an education.
Okay. 13.
Okay. And the second will be a ritual casting check.
17.
Okay. Sudden realization, and you knew this, but it dawns on you. Not only does this boy probably not have long, maybe a day, 3 max, but what you do here now determines whether or not this boy lives. You look through the book, and you notice that the first of the trials, the trial of the grasses, is the most painful of the trials. You'll notice that basically you're going to need corn lily, nightshade, speargrass, wolfsbane. You're going to need a mutagenic elixir, only witchers carry. And more importantly, if this boy is to survive, you're going to need him to be stronger than he ever thought he'd have to be. Next, after the trial of the grasses, there's the trial of dreams. This is a part that helps augment the Witcher's night vision. You see in the book that it talks about the psychedelics used to help mold their mind into something that can handle the rest of the trials. Specifically, you see that there are some notes in here for different Witcher schools. They've all done it fairly differently. The Trial of the Dreams is not particularly deadly. If they survive the grasses, they will almost definitely survive the second stage. But the problem is that there is yet another Witcher potion that would be needed. The Potion of Swallow, which, you know, if a Witcher drinks, it has regenerative properties, but when a non-human drinks it, they often die. And then, lastly, you know that there is a specific trial that, though you would have no hand in it, the Trial of the Sword is extremely important. Because giving a boy faster reflexes and the ability to see in the dark and access to the magical signs also puts that boy in a lot of danger, because there is one important aspect that this boy didn't get, and that is the actual first trial, the trial of choice, where in every school, and although it might not seem like they have a choice because they have no family to return to anymore, they have no life other than this short and painful existence they've had living with whatever school of witchers, they are given the choice of whether or not they want to become a witcher. and it is a choice that was denied to this boy. As you look over these things you need and the complex ritual you will have to cast once these are all in place, there's this rush. Your heart starts just pounding. It feels like you're drawing on chaos, like you're channeling magic right now. And you go through your normal steps to check what's going on. Have I accidentally done something? And everything seems fine. There's just some sort of magical connection. And as you look down at the boy, that darkness in his veins has started to recede a little bit. The pain is slowly failing, and you feel like you can breathe again. You still feel weak, but it's not as dire as it was a couple seconds ago. You know full well that the pains of what he's going through are going to continue to come in waves, but perhaps for now, it is abated.
So I look at him, obviously relieved that I can tell that whatever connection that we have has eased some of his pain. I also feel this immense weight on me, knowing that the future of this boy is most likely going to be in my hands, and feeling maybe like I'm not quite ready to be able to help him, but knowing in my gut that it's important that I do. So I look down at him, and it looks like he's maybe able to talk. So I look at him and I say, "You've had quite a day, huh? What's your name, son?" "No, you're not dying.
Where are we?
We are in my room. You're in my bed."
This is pain I've never felt.
Save your strength for what's to come.
Please.
You don't need to scare him.
You are stronger than you believe.
Felix.
Hi, Felix. I'm Marana. You're safe. It's okay.
It doesn't feel okay.
It's not okay.
The pain is unimaginable.
Would you get her in the corner?
Man,
You cannot wrangle me.
I'm done.
This boy is our destiny, and he must know what has happened to
This
him.
boy is
This
a
boy is about to grow into a man.
Listen, there is much for you to do, I am sure. But right now, you don't have to worry about that. You are safe. You are here with us, and we are not going to let anything happen to you. I understand that this has been very scary. I do, I understand. But please know that you are okay.
Okay.
Can I get you some, do you like chocolate or cocoa?
Yes, please.
Avery, could you please get the young sir some cocoa?
At that, I actually pull my coat open and pull out a little bit of chocolate, and I just hand it over.
Thank you, Brom. Listen, Felix, why don't you go ahead and take a nap, okay? You're going to be safe.
I'll try.
I promise it's going to be okay.
Just don't give up.
We're-
Ever.
We're going to have some conversations. It might be a little scary if you overhear, but just know that we are going to take good care of you, okay?
Okay, I'll try.
Okay.
At that, I'll just kind of look over and kind of mouth the words, get something out from sleep.
Yes.
Oh, I have to go get my cart. Be right back. So I leave, and I'm going to go get my cart, bring it back up, and kind of take some of the herbs and different ingredients I have, and pull some of the ones that would help with like sleeping and stuff
Okay.
from the little mini stuff, and bring it up
Sure.
to kind of help out.
So the merchant leaves. The room's quiet for a bit. You're back in to the book, knowing full well that there's no way you could glance at the ritual and actually cast it successfully. And in the book, there is one important ingredient that only the Witcher is going to be able to provide. Actually, the boy will need to imbibe his first mutagen, which means you have to kill a monster.
It's a Tuesday.
It's a Saturday.
No, it's Saturday.
Can't keep track of time, sorry. I don't have my calendar.
That's
on
very
me.
Witcher.
What was the meaning of that? Were you trying to scare him to death? Can you not see that he has already been through enough?
And he's going to go through a lot more.
Well, that may be, but he needs to recover his strength, and if you continue to speak to him in that way, I will make you leave this room. Do you understand me?
I will not leave the boy.
Well, then you must be kinder to him.
But I feel like both of you are getting off on the wrong foot. I understand where you're coming from. The boy is young, yes, and he's going through a lot against his choice. But she has experience. I mean, she is. Do you see those eyes? I mean,
This boy is my destiny, and he will survive.
Well, we are going to do everything that we can to ensure that, okay? Now tell me, where did you find him and how long has he been like this?
In a keep. Not far from here. I came to the closest town as soon as I found him.
And this book, was it there with him?
Right beside him.
Well, everything that I see in this is very, very archaic magic. It's something that we have not been taught or studied within my recent memory. It's very experimental and it's not something that I'm familiar with, but there are ingredients in this book that I am going to need help sourcing if we are going to help Felix get through this process. I understand that you have an affinity with the boy. Are you willing to put aside any differences that we have had so far to work in his best interest?
Of course.
I don't know how far he's gotten in this process, but I'm assuming he's potentially on the first trial? Are you able to tell me?
It looks like the grasses are taking a toll to his body.
So the next would be the trial of dreams, then.
There's something wrong about the Trial of the Grasses, though. You haven't seen it often, but you have seen it before. You've experienced it. And the pain that happened, it manifests the same way in every school, but it's not manifesting the same way with him. And it's possible that the mage, whoever they are, may have substituted magic for alchemy. Something different is happening to the boy than a simple mishap of the Trial of the Grasses.
He went through A grasses. It's not the one listed in your book. I don't know how to salvage it.
Can I use my magic training to deduce maybe what's been done to him at this point?
You can absolutely try.
Okay. I am going to absolutely try, I think. What would that be? What would I roll for that?
So you rolled a magical training, right? Your profession skill.
And it should have it'll be at the top.
Where is it?
your magic training.
Oh, yeah, shoot.
And it should have a overarching ability attached to it as well.
It'd be intelligence for that.
I think so.
Okay, intelligence.
It might have been. You might have overlooked the fact that it is a skill since it's not listed in the
Yeah, I
skills.
think I
So
did.
just make a minor adjustment and subtract from a couple other skills and add to that. Keep in mind you can use magical training in place of spellcasting.
Okay.
So probably just take your
Do what I
spellcasting ranks
did.
and put it
Okay.
in magical training.
Yeah. All right, so that sounds good. So, 24?
Okay. And what were you looking for exactly?
I just wanted to see if I could deduce what kind of magic had been done to him. So if it sounds like the Trial of the Grasses isn't done through alchemical
Okay.
means like it has been traditionally, if I can kind of figure out what the mages had done to that point.
So it was never your area of study, but you did know that back home, far, far to the south, there were mages who specialized in studying and mutating creatures, trying to create new monsters or control existing monsters. And there's just this
feeling you can't shake, this sort of taste in the air. It feels like mutation magics were at work, and that maybe this mage tried to force the mutations as opposed to let them come naturally through the alchemy and digestion.
Would I have any background or experience in other circumstances where this has been done before to be able to kind of draw solutions for what I could potentially look into to do?
Not so much. The only possible theory you have is that if the true trials and the ritual that you would have to cast are powerful enough, they might be able to circumvent the damage that's already been done. They had a grim name for those mages in Gwyson Hall, and those were the Undertakers, because nothing they ever worked on survived.
Cool.
All right.
Don't
So
worry, you didn't
far.
hear that.
All right. I'll roll my percentage die now.
So from what I can tell, the magic that has been used on him, the only thing that I can compare it to are the mages called the Undertakers. The survival rate of their patients, let's say, is next to none. My best guess is that if we are able to recreate the trial of the grasses in the way that it is supposed to be done, we might be able to get him through this phase without the magic corrupting him any more than it already has. There are several ingredients, though, that I will need help sourcing. Brom, I know
Brom's
that you
not back
have.
yet.
Oh, he's not back.
Yeah, he's not back yet.
Get his card. I know the two of you have had much time to explore this world, as have you, I'm sure, Witcher. There are a few things that I need. Corn lily. Do we know where we can find that?
Corn lily is a fairly common plant. In an agricultural town like that, you might even just be able to buy it.
Okay. I'm assuming probably the same with wolfsbane as well, then.
Wolfsbane will be a little bit more rare. It would be illegal, highly illegal, to sell it in town, as it's very poisonous. But it isn't an uncommon plant.
Okay. And then, sorry, the other ones were, there was a witcher's potion. and-
Nightshade, speargrass. The nightshade would also be a poison, not legally buyable. And then yes, a witcher concoction that is actually combines all of those together.
Okay. So, my assumption is that if we are able to make a witcher's potion from corn lily, wolfsbane, nightshade, and speargrass to initiate the same effects as the trial of the grasses, we may be able to save him. So, Witcher, I know that you have used these potions yourself. I understand that we can't find most of these ingredients here in town, but do you have a contact that we could travel to in order to solicit some of these ingredients?
We'll have to rummage through town, see the black markets. I'm not familiar with these lands.
Well, so be it then. When Brom returns, we can see if he has any ideas of somewhere we can check. He is very familiar with the connections in these areas.
And to know this, mage, I bear no ill will towards you. You are this boy's last hope of survival, and we will do whatever it takes. And you have my trust, and I will do what it takes.
Gosh.
I appreciate that. I do. And I apologize for being brisk with you at first.
Let's do this.
So as this apology is made, there's a light knock on the door, it opens, and Brom has returned.
As I walk in, you see me carrying a small little wooden crate, and I seem to be chewing on some form of root. As I walk in, place it down, and I pull the root out. Here, have the boy suck on this. It will ease his sleep. I chewed on enough; it broke apart the outer layers. He should actually get some of the nutrients from it.
Thank
I'm
you,
getting
Brom.
your spit in my mouth already.
Chew this, boy, if you want to live.
I'm not okay with the way this went. I was way different. You sit there and shut up, boy.
So it's, I mean, you've had roots as medicine before. This one, you feel so weak, it's probably a benefit that he'd already chewed it for you. But it immediately starts to ease some of your pain. You start to feel a bit more relaxed. And you don't drift off into sleep, but you just feel disconnected now. Sleep will probably happen soon.
I take my cloak and I just lay it over him.
And then Sokar takes this big, sturdy red cloak, lays it over the top of you. That warmth, it reminds you of home, and your mind starts to wander to your father, a blacksmith. Oh,
Never heard that noise from her before.
It was the sweetest dog noise ever.
Oh,
She's
there's
like,
Comfort the child.
yeah. But you're reminded of your father, a blacksmith, and you can hear this, the ringing of hammer on anvil in the back of your head, and it's comforting.
I'll grab a cloth from inside the little crate I brought in and put a little jug of water and kind of pour it on there and drain it out and hand it over to help clean his face if needed, just to take some of the heat away.
Thank you, Brom.
I'm not much good for the healing part, but let me know if you need anything else.
We do.
That was fast. Also, on another note, you're a woman.
Right.
That's not normal.
You've never met women before?
No.
One like that.
Sorry. I
I'm
was
afraid
distracted.
men are not normal either, so
It's
I'm not
true.
sure what you're at.
You're a witcher.
Right.
There has never been a female witcher. So I'm completely flabbergasted.
Well, be sure to write to the books then.
That is a good... You see me kind of pat around and pull out a little ledger, and I'm just...
But as he points it out, I mean, it's pretty common knowledge, although witchers don't seem to exist currently, or at least the last time you heard of a witcher actively was a while ago, but it's pretty common knowledge that witchers are all male. And yet here is this woman with the striking cat eyes and the tan, sun-kissed skin of Zerikanian in the room. Female witcher, clear as day.
You're from Zerikania, correct?
To the east, yes.
Is there... So I don't know about your lands, but here we have not had witches in some time. Not since the stories of Geralt disappeared.
I have not been home since I've left after
Well-
the trials.
Is there more of you?
There's 100% of me.
That's not what I asked, but no, is there more witches from where you're from?
Not that I know.
Very confusing. All right, well, we'll shelf that for later because there was a dying boy. What do you need?
So I believe the Demage has gone through a bastardization of the Trial of the Grasses. My thought is that the only way that this boy is going to live is if we continue the Trial of the Grasses as it was intended to be continued. So according to this book here, there are several plants that we need in order to make a Witcher's Potion. I
Okay.
believe that you should be able to help us make the potion.
I'll make it, but we need the ingredients.
We do. So, according to this, we need corn lily, wolf's bane, nightshade, and speargrass.
The first one should be pretty easy. We could probably find that in anyone's home. Wolfsbane, I'm probably going to have to reach out to somebody because I don't want to go find it. I'll pay for it. Nightshade, I have no idea.
And speargrass.
We should go see the herbalist and see if they have it. Then maybe any nefarious types for the wolfsbane. Well, I'm probably going to have to go buy things.
Some wolfsbane is findable in villages like this. It's illegal to sell and buy it, but a lot of farmers use it to keep certain pests away from their crop. So it's not impossible stuff to find in the area. with your survival skills, you do know that all of these plants could be found in the outlying areas outside of the town, with enough searching in the right places for sure.
Well, so let me write these down as I write the 4 ingredients down. I'll run to the herbalist if someone wants to go attempt to find some of the more difficult things.
I can hunt, gather in the outlying areas.
I believe I should be able to get wolfsbane and the first ingredient relatively easily. I guarantee the herbalist carries it and just doesn't want to sell it to the wrong people. I can take care of that. If you want to get the other 2 ingredients, they're less popular.
Alright. I can gather. Who will stay with the boy?
I will stay with the boy.
Good.
I will go with you.
I should be relatively safe on my own. If people want to mug me, that's their own volition. If you want to just make sure no one gets in the door, just in case someone followed us. I attempted to distract in the bar, but I don't know how well it worked.
I think we'll be all right.
Okay.
Got it.
Well then, go team.
Team. What a weird word.
All right. So, all with your respective plans. You caring for the boy, you standing watch, basically guarding over the room. Brahm is going to be searching for. I love when her tail hits the wall. It's just, he's happy. Anyway, yeah, for those of you watching, you can't, she's not on camera often, if at all, but there is a gorgeous German Shepherd by the name of Sasha who graces us with her presence. She's a needy bitch.
She's great.
Although,
She's so
And
sweet.
She's awesome.
too.
And to those of
She's
you that are
great.
subbed or want to sub, there's an awesome little bork in the chat.
Oh, yeah, there's little Sasha emojis in the chat. Bork borks.
she may be needy, but have you ever had an emotional support dog while playing D&D?
True.
It's great.
It's helpful.
Or should I say tabletop RPGs?
It's a catch-all. I'm alright with it. Yeah, it's a catch-all. Anyway, and
It's
then
pretty good.
Dungeons.
Kara and Kavas are going to go foraging. Keeping in mind that you do know that in order for this boy to survive at all, you are still going to have to introduce a mutagen, which means you will have to find a monster and slay it.
Well, hopefully we find more than just foliage on our journey.
Before
How are
Brahm
you
leaves,
protecting yourself?
I'm gonna
I've got my long
grab him by the
almost
shoulder
as tall
in the
as I
hallway.
am.
What the hell is going on?
Expertise.
Do you want the honest answer?
Do you know that woman?
Which-
What is this all about? I don't want anything to do with this.
So, to break it down, I lean in. So, I have absolutely no idea. But, you know what? I'm just rolling with it.
I don't want to roll with this.
It's fine.
It sounds very not fine. It sounds quite dangerous.
Do you want to be paid? I can pay you, if that makes it better.
Do you think it's wise to bring this person here and talk about mages and a dying child? This is the last thing any of us need.
Very true, and it's utterly a terrible idea considering we're going to be discussing smuggling people, but still, terrible idea. But...
What?
Oh, you're not part of that plan yet. I do apologize. I help people with things they need, and one of them was...
Smuggling people?
Shit-da-da-da! Enough with the yelling. Quiet down.
Are you smuggling this boy?
I would have you know I'm a better man than that.
I would hope so.
No, there was people who wanted to discuss smuggling people out of Nilfgaard, mages, for their safety. And I was going to assist with introductions.
You're putting Marana at danger. I don't
She's
appreciate
the one who was
this.
part of the first conversation. She got herself into it.
I don't like
I'm just a
any of
middleman who
this.
does the talking.
Can I hear this conversation?
You can hear a
Probably
heated
through the door.
conversation through the door, but you can't actually hear what is being said.
Okay, so I can hear that something is
Yes.
going on, and I am not thrilled. So I get up and I open the door and I look out at these two and I say, "The two of you need to stop bickering like old wives.
Just-
Avery, I need to talk to you. Can you come in, please?"
I remember that one.
You see curling my mustaches.
Felix will remember that.
Storm inside,
Core memory.
like an angry child.
As you turn to walk in, I kind of lean over. I may have released a little bit of extra information about the smuggling. So sorry, and I immediately walk away.
Brom.
And I stop. It's everything that's going on. There's a lot of panicking and a lot of things that are being released right now. I'm just going with the flow, and that means kind of being honest with everybody.
A lot of things being released. I think that you are the only one who has said anything. You are the one that brought them here, saying that I was what I am.
Uh-huh.
Brom,
It was an assumption.
I appreciate your discretion moving forward, okay?
I will attempt to... Just let me know when things are secret, and I'll keep them secret.
They're all secret.
That wasn't part of the first conversation. I apologize.
It's all secret. Just assume, unless I say that I want you to tell an entire inn full of people our business, that it is a secret. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So I turn back into the room and shut the door behind
I
me.
scurry off. Very quickly going, might have got myself a little bit too much on that.
Listen, Avery, I know that this is a lot to ask of you, but I can feel it in every fiber of my being that I need to help this boy.
Good, save the boy. What's...
This is a discussion for another time. I promise that I am not going to put you in harm's way, okay? But
Don't worry about me. I'll be fine.
listen, Brom was never supposed to have said something. You and I will have this conversation, but right now we have more pressing matters to attend to. I don't know how there is a female witcher or how a mage is turning this young boy into a witcher. There is something seriously afoot here. And I don't know what it is, and I don't know how we can help, but I know that we have to. And if this feels like too much for you, this is the time for you to go before you get more embroiled in this, and I will leave that up to you as a friend.
I can't let this boy die. There's a lot going on. This is crazy. It's dangerous. It sounds foolish, to say the least.
There is something very foolish and very wrong about all of this, but Avery, I've been having dreams, and I know that this boy has something to do with them.
Dreams.
I see a tree. I don't want to go into too much more detail than this, but just believe me when I say that our destiny, it's tied to his.
Make sure he doesn't die.
And I go and I sit next to the bed and I take the pitcher that Brom had brought in and I kind of start trying to clean Felix up and again squeeze his hand a little bit and just try to make sure that he's comfortable.
All right. So you two have just recently exited the tavern. I'm assuming with your bow in hand and what gear you can carry. It's dark. The sun had finished setting. Shouldn't be a problem for you too much, but generally speaking, it's best to hunt these ingredients down during the day when you have the time to do so. The thing is you came through Scala a week ago, and one of the first things you do in any town is you look to the job board, the message board, and you look for any work that there might be, and that's what eventually led you to knowledge of the fact that there was a mage in the vicinity working, is that there was a strong lack of monstrous activity in the area. And there is this mild anxiety in the back of your mind that you're not going to be able to find a monster on demand. They normally witchers would keep these mutagens in supply for when they were ready, or they'd go on a hunt before they administered the trials. But you make your way out into the woods. Not really a forest; it's a lightly wooded area. But you make your way out there towards the bank of the river nearby, and you begin looking for the ingredients you're going to need. Kara, you following the witcher, doing your best to stay close. It is dark though. It is hard to see. The clouds have occluded the moon fairly heavily tonight. And this far from maybe 200-300 yards from the village now, there's no ambient light. You're used to being in the woods at night. You're used to finding your way in the dark. So though you have no more night vision than a normal human would, you're still fairly comfortable here. But you can't help but think, the hell are you doing here?
I'm just thinking that actually, yes.
Sorry.
I may have bit off more than I can chew. Miss Kavas, do you know where you're going? Or are you just walking to see if you can find something?
Looking through the foliage, seeing what I can find. You're a huntress yourself. I look to your bow.
Well, yes, I dabble here and there and everywhere.
In these woods?
It's around, not necessarily. Well, not often these woods. There's really not much out here besides, well, this town. So, you know.
I do not know.
Oh, well.
But it is a pleasure. You are?
Oh, that's right. I'm Kara.
Kara.
Yes. It's Kara Mirieli.
Kara Mirieli.
Mm-hmm.
It is a pleasure. Thank you for accompanying me in these woods.
Thank you for having me.
I really appreciate all of you who have stepped up and shared this boy's fate.
I didn't sign up to be a mother, but I'll be a very, very exciting aunt.
I am no mother either.
So, do you know where we're looking for Wolf Bay?
No.
No.
We're looking for
Nightshade and the other one. Aren't you the Witchers? Do you know what this is?
I have high hopes.
Yes.
It's a long shopping list, okay? It's speargrass.
Ah, Speargrass. Yes,
There's
there's
always
a
a
voice
long
in the
shot.
back of my
Felix is
head. I
laughing.
know exactly.
Yeah.
I whisper
Felix will
things.
also remember this.
We're far away.
So, do you know what Nightshade grows by? Same with Speargrass.
On the ground.
I'm going back home to mother. Okay, well, I guess we should start looking. Nightshade is it's a creep vine, correct? It grows on things.
Does it bloom at night? Is that why it's called that?
No.
Oh. Go ahead and roll a Witcher training check for me.
Cool. So it's a D10 plus 15.
15? Okay. Foraging, alchemy, not really one of your stronger suits when it comes to witchery in general, but it's taking a while. You can hear the fairly common sound of wolves in the distance, maybe hills away from here. But eventually you find a small amount of nightshade nearby. And as you begin to harvest the nightshade, there's a smell, something nearby. It smells like rot, maybe. And it's distinct. You've smelled something like this before, and you realized, not that you didn't know what you were doing, but you realized you had wandered fairly close to a path that leads to that keep you were just recently at. And the thought dawns on you that all manner of necrophages are attracted to the bodies of the dead, and you left quite a few bodies behind in that keep. The smell is getting a little stronger. Whatever is out there may be heading this way.
We are approaching the cursed land where I found the boy.
Oh, okay.
Would you like to use your longbow, put it to use?
I will definitely do my best.
Keep your eyes, wits about you.
I notch an arrow.
Necrophages. Are about.
Necrophages. No. What the left?
It's hard to see out here. You're confident that if something were to lunge at you, you could get an arrow off first, but it's going to be hard to see one from a distance.
Is there any trees accessible for like climbing?
Sure. Absolutely. Is that your plan? Climb a tree?
Climb a tree, aim down.
Okay.
Basically.
Go ahead and roll an athletics check for me.
Yes.
Actually, roll an awareness check first, then the athletics.
All right. Yeah. 17 for awareness.
Okay. Yeah, you find a tree that feels sturdy enough. It looks like it'll give you a good vantage point. You hurry over to it and begin to climb. The athletics check?
Athletics is up. Here it is. Another 17.
Another 17?
Mhm.
All right. You see where you want to go, and there's this nice sort of Y branching formation, and you just kind of lean back a little bit, toss your bow up to it, start climbing up, and yeah, you get yourself about 12 feet off the ground with a good vantage point. It's dark, so it's still kind of hard to see, but you feel confident that you'd be able to pick out a target if you needed to.
Yeah. I basically just hang up there, arrow notched and ready, waiting, listening.
Okay, so you watch as this newfound companion, as soon as you mention that something was coming, turns, finds a tree, climbs right up it, deftly, almost as if this is a very practiced response to this sort of endeavor. And as you're sitting up in the tree and you're kind of getting the lay of your surroundings, you see through the woods something slowly stalking towards you. It looks like a ghoul, but different, sickly, frail. It crawls forward and is clearly heading in your direction, but either not with great haste or maybe just with trepidation. But it gets to the edge of the clearing and kind of hunkers down and looks at you like it's defensive, and then it lunges right at you. Claws, bared teeth. You can see almost in slow motion. You can see that there are bits of flesh into these long needle-like teeth. There's a slight semblance of humanity to this creature, even though they aren't human by nature and never were. But as it leaps towards you, claws outstretched, you react.
As I maintain eye contact, I dodge.
Okay, you dodge right out of the way. Go ahead and roll for me.
$25.
Yeah, you.
No, she did it better.
I think it's her
When-
move now.
When the ghoul lunged at you, claws outstretched, your natural inclination was to dodge to the left as you favor that side. Anyway, but in the last second, you tucked into a roll and actually went completely under the beast as it landed on the other side of you. Springing up, silver sword in hand now, it hits the ground and tumbles a little bit and actually slides about 2 feet before it starts to get up again. You see this happen, bow ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
I shoot.
All right,
I aim and shoot.
go ahead and fire.
All right. Ooh, 14.
Okay. As you knock your arrow, pull, and fire, the ghoul had readied itself, turned towards you to lunge again. You're now in a completely ready battle stance. It starts its lunge when an arrow pierces its left shoulder and buckles its arm right out from under it. It flies forward, scraping across the ground towards you. Still clearly alive, but definitely You'd thrown off its attempt to pounce as it slides right to your feet, knowing any second it's going to start clawing at you.
I smirk, nice shot.
Thank you.
And my move, as I ready my silver sword, and then from the back of my cloak, I whip out the scorpion, my silvered whip, and I reach for its legs.
So a chain you see as Kavas reaches back, pulls this coiled silver whip-like chain out, and it flings forward deftly, easily, wrapping itself around the ghoul. The second you do that, you can hear the sizzling of flesh. The ghoul cries out in pain, and it tries to struggle against this chain. Go ahead and roll me a brawling check, actually.
21.
Okay, I rolled a 1.
Pretty close.
Yeah, pretty close.
nice.
Pretty close.
Did you roll again?
No, not yet. All right.
Damn.
So the chain does exactly what you wanted it to. It starts wrapping itself around the legs of this ghoul, and these things are so mindless and sometimes so one track that it struggles and struggles against this chain. And to your amazement, what ends up being a very grisly sight as this beast is maybe unaware of exactly what it's struggling against, but the more it struggles, the more this chain tightens and rips into the flesh of the ghoul. You can see that one of its legs is barely hanging at this point, as it continues to just struggle and struggle against this chain, and eventually it just collapses into the dirt, and it just breathes very shallowly and then stops breathing entirely. You've slain the ghoul.
Do you hear any more?
I
What about
Try
that
to-
nose? That
can
nose.
smell. Yeah.
That's pretty overpowering. The smell was definitely the ghoul itself.
Mhm.
There's something else on the air, though, and you're realizing it's the smell of another creature of some sort, maybe an animal that the ghoul had probably recently killed. But it smells familiar. Not quite sure what. Definitely not the decaying remains of a human, something else nearby.
I know this is a cursed place, but its last victim is all I smell.
Okay. I, definitely drop down from the tree and look down. And go, this is that was quite a sight.
We make quite a team.
Oh, do we do indeed? Yes, I agree. I reach down, grab the arrow, and just like rub it in some dirt and grass.
Yeah, the arrow still seems good. You have seen ghouls before, but never had to fight them off, luckily. The rumor is their blood is highly toxic.
I just basically tear off a little bit of my my leathers and I wrap it around that one particular arrow and I put it back in my quiver.
Okay.
And I'll grab my scorpion, the whip, the chain, and as it's bleeding from the legs, may I uncork a bottle and get some of the blood of
Sure.
the ghoul?
Sure. You take some of the blood. Are you planning on harvesting the mutagen from the ghoul? You do know that although ghoul mutagen can be effective for a fully fledged witcher, during the trials it could possibly stunt a witcher's growth. Their strength and capabilities.
Well, so far it's our only option, but we can keep looking, see if anyone else creeps in the night.
Well, did you want to try to find the previous victim? Maybe that could lead us to other options.
Can see what it's left behind.
Okay.
We're already out here.
Okay. Well, I'm pretty sure your nose can find this one in case we don't find anything else. So lead the way.
I'll grab the ghoul, put it over my shoulder.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's try to find the source of the other smoke.
All right. The ghoul is fairly large, in between the size of like a man and a large dog, probably from foot to head. If it were to stand on its hind legs, you think it's probably closer to like 5.5 feet tall, broad-shouldered. Even in its emaciated state, it's still a pretty hefty creature to be toting around the forest. You do know that the mutagen you would need to collect from it could be done here, as long as you were careful.
Well, I suppose then I'll get the mutagen, just in case.
Well, you already
Have
dirtied your
decided.
shoulders, so might as well dirty your hands too.
So you drag this ghoul to a better clearing of sorts. With the grass isn't quite as tall here. It might be easier to work, and you lower the ghoul onto the ground and begin searching for where its mutagen may be located. And you think to yourself, the best bet will probably be part of the brain. Go ahead and roll a...
Scalp check.
I think it's Witcher training, but just in case, I'm going to look it up really quick.
I think last time I did it, it was Witcher training.
Was it Witcher training or alchemy?
You had me do Witcher training. It
Yes,
could be alchemy.
It's fine. Witcher training.
14.
Makes sense.
14. Okay.
Both make sense.
As you're cutting into the basically the brainstem of this ghoul, you find the part that you're looking for and extract it ever so carefully, and you place it into a bottle with the albumin, basically the solution itself that holds the mutagen, and you move it around a little bit and look in there, and it's mostly intact. It should be enough. At least for a full-grown witcher, it definitely would be.
This might be as good as we get here.
But did you want to continue just in case, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's move on.
Let that nose of yours lead the way.
All right. So you follow the trail that this ghoul had created down a ways a bit, and you come to a small rock outcropping in the side of a short rolling hill, basically. And you know that on the other side are a set of hills that go deeper into the mountains that eventually wind their way east. And in this rock outcropping, there is a small, scaly beast of sorts that looks like it's been eviscerated. It was caught in some kind of trap, and as you get closer and see that this has to be what the ghoul was munching on, you realize it's a draconid of some sort. Maybe a basilisk or a slizzard even, but young, definitely young. And if the mutagen is intact, it could be perfect. But this beast looks like it's been dead a while. And when I say perfect, I mean entire schools would spend thousands of crowns to get their hands on a young draconid's mutagenic properties for the sake of their trials. But you're left with a risk, even if you can harvest viable mutagen from the creature. It may not take with the boy because of how long dead this creature has been.
Almost handed on a silver platter.
Almost.
I mean, it has a few dents, but a platter nonetheless.
A rotten platter.
The risk truly is the ghoul mutagen will not kill the boy, but it may leave him a weakened witcher. The draconid mutagen has an almost 50-50 chance of killing the boy. But if it succeeded, he would become pretty powerful.
I attempt to abstract the mutagen.
Those are good betting odds.
All right, go ahead and roll a Witcher training check for me again.
You could be like dwarf.
14.
So cool.
14. Okay. You
Terrible.
search around on this this juvenile draconid, and you eventually find a gland just at the bottom of its throat. It's said that this is the gland that produces one of the elemental properties they can spew forth. And you find and extract this gland and place it in another bottle, and you struggled with it. You're not entirely sure if you would even consider drinking this this mutagen, with how far decayed it is, and how shaky your hands were for some reason in extracting this this alchemical component.
When life
But you-
hands you dead rotting draconids, you take it. I can't make lemonade out of it, but I'll try
But
my
you
best.
do have currently 2 mutagens in your possession.
From thinking it would be a quiet night, I'm pleased. We need spear grass, though.
Oh,
We'll cut to Brahm. Yes.
just because she's technically new to the table, could she use inspiration on that roll? Because she forgot.
You do have inspiration. If you wanted to
Yes, for
reroll,
the
you could.
extraction
Okay.
of the draconid.
Yes.
Although it was a pretty high roll, though.
There's a lot of people.
It was a high roll. If I risk it for the biscuit, do I still can choose
Yeah.
between the two? Or
No, you take the
then
second
I keep
roll.
It. I keep my first
Okay.
roll. I rolled
Okay.
high.
So, shout out to Bad Luck Gaming rating, or sorry, Devil's Luck Gaming rating with a party of 49.
Woo! All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the raid. You actually just stepped in on what is the first episode of our new campaign for Legendary Action entitled Steel is for Men, a Witcher RPG. We're really excited to be here, and we're really excited that you are here. Currently, the party is trying to save a young boy who was forcibly exposed to the trials of the grasses, and if they do not progress through those trials and try to save him and create a Witcher in the process, he may die.
Or he may become a witcher with like half his teeth and his hair falling out.
It's a lot.
How many teeth do you think I
3
have right
foot
now?
2.
3
One
foot
blue
2.
eye.
You shrink like a
Yeah, I
Black
get
eye.
shorter.
Yeah.
I'm already short,
Maybe
man.
you'll
Come
lose an
on.
ear.
But as our Witcher and her new companion, Kara, have successfully managed to harvest 2 mutagens as well as the nightshade needed for the trials, we cut over to Brahm, a merchant, who is possibly out of his league, but happy to help as he's knocking on doors after the sun has gone down, hoping to find the rest of the components that the child will need.
What the
All right, so you said you were going to
the town's herbalist.
the apothecary,
Yeah,
right?
apothecary. Thank you.
Okay, so you hear shuffling behind the door, and then a moment later, the door opens just a little bit, and you see a bearded man, probably 5'6", 5'5". Looks like he's already in his nightgown as he's peering through the door at you.
I pull my hat down. I'm terribly sorry to interrupt your evening, sir, but I need your help.
All right. Is it something? I'm an apothecary.
Absolutely. I need some of your ingredients if you have them. And it will come with good coin, I promise.
The door shuts on you, and then the door opens. I'm sorry. One second. Let me change.
Fair enough. You don't need to. I
Door
don't
shuts
care.
again.
All right. Well, I'll just awkwardly stand here then.
Staring at the door for a minute, maybe 2 minutes. Feels like an eternity. When the door finally opens back up, the man is now wearing. It looks like all he's done is pull a work vest over his nightgown.
Good enough for me.
He's got a cap on now to hide his disheveled hair, and he's carrying a small candle. And all right, step in.
Absolutely.
What can I do to help?
Well, I'll just beat right to the bush. I need some corn lily, if you have any spear grass, maybe some nightshade, and some wolfsbane. And I lean in, and I absolutely know you carry it. A good apothecary like you would absolutely have some for the local farms. Absolutely. It'd be a good endeavor.
Roll your profession. What is it? Well-traveled, right?
Well-traveled.
Yeah, roll that for me.
Sound effects.
It's okay.
Hang on, my brain is not math
Just tell me
right.
the numbers.
Yeah, just tell him the numbers.
23.
23. Okay.
That's good, man.
That should be close.
He kind of takes a step back. I have to be honest, I thought maybe Tom was trying to pull one over on me. The town drunk. He's an imbecile.
I just raise the hat and put it back on. And as I put my hat back on, I kind of like jingle the gold rings on my eyebrow and kind of rest my hands on, showing the gold rings and gems. Absolutely not. I'm a simple merchant traveling. I need some assistance. And you seem like a fine enough gentleman to perfectly help me.
Yes, well, if
You
you
will be properly
planning on
rewarded.
paying,
Of course.
then I'll get what I can. I must warn you, Nightshade and Wolfsbane would go terrible in the tea you're clearly trying to make. It would kill you.
Of course, I'm going to. They're for separate people. Different glasses.
So you plan on serving Nightshade to a person?
No, that would be rude.
Yeah, rude. Not murder.
He just
Rude.
kind of stares at you for a
It's
second,
Pretty rude.
and he kind of eyes your rings and how nicely dressed you
Depends on
are.
the murder.
Just promise me you're not going to kill anyone in town.
I promise.
To
Right
try.
this way. So he walks over and he hands you a small bundle of corn lily and speargrass. He says, these would make a fine tea, although you will become quite drowsy. But then he turns and he goes, I have
Good thing I'm not from
no
town.
Nightshade, but of course I have Wolfsbane.
Perfect.
And he pulls a small snippet off of a plant he has growing in his home.
Oh.
And he holds it out for you. And perhaps we discuss payment first.
Of course. How much would you like?
Well, for the tea, unless you have a half penny, I suppose I'll just round it in with the Wolfsbane. And it's illegal, so 3 crowns.
Normally this is where I barter, but I'm in the mood to just have you never remember me or anyone else that might look like me. So 6 it is.
Well, if I need memory problems, it'll be 4 crowns.
Call it 6, and I pull out 6 crowns. Have a wonderful day. Actually, have a wonderful evening, and never remember me.
Just kind of holds it out while looking at the crowns. And then he turns and walks the other way. As you exit, he doesn't even bother to follow behind you and shut the door.
I shut the door, and I kind of make sure I shut it properly.
Okay. So you have these ingredients, and you're heading back towards the tavern, the Rat's Rest.
Yep.
All right. So, on the way back to the tavern, you see a small group of people have gathered nearby. Maybe 3 or 4 of them. They're kind of chatting amongst themselves and laughing a little bit, and one of them goes, "Hey!" and he smacks the guy, and the guy turns and points to your direction, and
I at that I kind of see him like, not again, and I reach in and I stuff all the ingredients into one of my inner pockets of my jacket.
all right, a fairly large, burly man comes walking forward. You see the slight stumble in his step. Maybe he's had a bit much to drink. But he walks up and, "Oi, what's a rich fop like you doing out here?"
Join the sights of your town, actually.
Right, well, that'll cost you.
For what for?
The tour, of course.
Oh, a tour. Well, if you're going to be giving me a tour, where would you lead me?
Well, it depends on how much you're paying, but I'd rather not lead you to a ditch. He kind of cracks his knuckles.
That would be a right bitch. So how about no? How much for you to go away?
He looks you up and down. Oh, I'll take all of it.
How about 1 gold crown, and we part ways very happily?
1 gold crown won't get me more than a couple drinks.
Well, of course, I'm buying drinks for you, not your friends. You're a better man than them, even better dressed. You deserve it more.
Oh, that's true. I like you. My name's Tom.
Pleasure to meet you, Tom. My name is Brom, and it's a pleasure to meet you.
Tom and Brom. You need a bodyguard.
I have a friend of mine, actually, that's doing that quite well.
He's big as me.
Little stouter, probably better with a sword, no offense. His sword is quite nice.
I don't even have a sword.
Well, then there's that answer.
Got a rock
Yes, he's a knight, actually.
in my tankard. It's empty now, but when it's full, it's kind of odd.
Of course.
That's empty.
But, well, then I reach in and I pull out 1 gold crown.
You kind of eyes the pouch you pulled it from.
And
Like you got a lot more than one in there.
true, but I'm paying for your generosity.
So he tries to catch it, completely misses.
And he goes, well, I'm going to need a whole lot more than that.
And he bends down to pick up the coin.
As he bends down, I look around and drive my knee into his nose.
Ooh. Ooh. Okay, roll a brawling check for me.
Yeah. You picked like the worst thing you can do to a man.
Other people's
Not the
children.
worst, but close.
You can kill somebody by busting their
14!
That's a number that is getting thrown around quite a bit tonight.
Not a great number either.
So as he leans down to grab the coin, there's a sickening crunch as your knee connects with the front of his face. And he falls to both knees, grabs his nose, and falls over onto his side. He goes, oh, what the hell was that?
I'm terribly sorry, that was an accident!
The 3 men on the other side just start laughing. One of them goes over and picks him up. The other one walks over and takes that coin that he dropped. He picks it up and flings it back your way. Hey, no trouble here, mister. No trouble at all.
Oh, I apologize, it was an accident. He leaned down and I tripped, and he fell right into me.
It was an accident. It looked pretty purposeful.
It was an accident! I'm so sorry.
Well, either way, no trouble here.
Have a wonderful evening.
Oh,
I
we
do
will
apologize.
Come on, Tom. Come on. Kind of start dragging him off. So as you're standing there with all this going on, your attention was drawn away from the tavern, and you look back that direction, and you see another group of people. But this time, it's closer to 6 or more. All of them seem to be lightly armored, carrying weapons of some sorts. You see a couple spears, a crossbow, an axe, and they're walking towards the tavern. And you distinctly hear one of them say,
Look, he hired us to get the boy and the boys up there. We want to go in and just start swinging, or should we make them bring him down?
in the room with Felix, Avery, and Marana. It's been what?
Nothing.
No laughing. No love laugh.
This is not.
We're not having fun.
Disrespectful.
This is
Uh,
serious. You're
we're,
always
uh,
dying.
That's why I don't look at the chat.
Show some
I can't look at the
respect.
chat.
Come at me, bro.
I'm busy laughing, leave me alone.
It's Malachi's fault. Blame him.
Back in the room, the others had left mere minutes ago. The cold in the night has started to settle in a little bit. You can feel some of the heat coming from the central fireplace downstairs. Started to kind of seep through the floorboards lightly, and it's quiet. It's quiet, other than Felix occasionally wincing in pain and whimpering in the bed.
So the room, is it warm in here, or
It's starting to warm.
does he have a fever?
Cold, actually.
Cold?
Very cold. Yes.
Make sure he's properly fed. I'm gonna make the room dark. I'm not speaking to her at the moment.
Okay. So you've made sure there's no light in the room.
Yeah, and open up the blinds, just kind of peek out into the street.
Okay.
With my sword drawn, and prop a chair against the door
Okay.
as I'm at the window. Be all right. Be all right, boy.
Downstairs, outside, you can see a small group of men has gathered. They're drinking and goofing off. about you, Rana? What are you doing?
So I am sitting in the chair next to the bed. I'm kind of continuing to hold Felix's hand and kind of looking over at him reassuringly every once in a while, but I'm not speaking to him because I want to try and get him to fall asleep. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm not engaging him too much,
Okay.
but letting him, reassuring him that I'm there. But I have the book on my lap, and I'm kind of thumbing through it, trying to get a better idea of kind of what's been going on and what has led to this point. Taking a look at the footnotes and seeing everything kind of scribbled out and trying to piece together the best story that I can.
Okay. What about you, Felix?
Trying to sleep, dog.
Little baby Felix.
Wow.
Needs a nap.
What do you do when you're sick?
Cry.
Yeah, whine a lot.
Lie down.
Yeah.
Try not to cry.
Call my mom.
Call my mom.
Yeah.
Add more blankets to sweat it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, just trying to sleep.
Okay. So this silence, this sort of uncomfortable silence, goes on for a few minutes.
After a while, I'm going to whisper, Rana, tell me more about your dream.
I don't know if I quite have the words to describe it, Avery, but it's a blackness, but more than blackness somehow. And there is a golden tree in the middle of it.
Do you hear anything?
I hear a voice. Kind of. It's not a voice as much as it is a sense, a knowing of what's to come.
Does it say anything?
It makes my skin crawl. I know that there is something big coming, but I don't know what. And I know that the boy, he has something to do with it. And I know that I have to do everything in my power to protect him. But I don't know how, and I don't know why yet.
Something else I'm struggling to say, but I'm not going to say. I just hope he falls asleep.
As do I. And I hope that the others get here soon, because I know that time is growing short. Take a sip of... I have tea in the room. I'm going to take a sip of my tea.
Oh, the barmaid downstairs said we were drinking for free tonight. You need something to help you relax.
I feel it would be prudent if we are sober. There's something wrong. There's a bad energy tonight. I think we should remain alert.
That's wise.
She's still looking out the window as you're having this conversation. Do you see Brahm walking towards the tavern when the man you clearly recognize as Tom starts stumbling towards Brahm? They have a slight exchange. Brahm seems confident and maybe a little annoyed when he flips a crown towards Tom. Tom tries to catch it and misses. Leans over to pick up the coin when Brahm effectively knees Tom directly into the face. You can hear the crunch from here. Tom hits the ground. Brahm immediately starts apologizing as if it was a complete accident. The drunkard's friends come over and help him up. They're laughing uproariously about it. And they basically cart Tom off. And that's when you see Brahm turn and look at a group of people, and instead of heading into the tavern, he starts backing up towards the relative darkness of the what would be the shadow of the building next door, protected from the torches, when you also watch as Brahm draws one of his blades, a thinly pointed jewel encrusted rapier.
Quickly open the window and draw my bow. Did anyone turn as the window creaked open?
He's like, well, that's a good idea.
No, actually, and you look out and you can see that there is a group of men, all armed, standing outside of the tavern. You kind of have to lean over to see them, but that's definitely what Brahm was looking at. And they are having some sort of discussion. You don't catch much, but then you clearly hear the word boy. And they look like they're arguing or discussing particulars when another man joins them.
Marana,
And then a second joins as well.
big trouble.
What do you see?
There's men. Braun just drawn his sword.
Knocking an arrow, getting it ready, just waiting.
All right. Did you head on over and peek out the window?
Yes.
So you see this group of people. They're all armed. It's measuring closer to 10, maybe 14 people now. You're kind of counting them off. You don't see a specific leader amongst them, and none of them are uniformed or well equipped. Some have leathers, some aren't wearing any armor at all. But they are all carrying weapons openly. And you're kind of gauging this. You see just on the other side of the street, about 50 yards away, Kavas and Kara rounding the corner, walking this direction. From their angle, they wouldn't be able to see these guards, though.
Have time to think, huh? Is there anything like a church nearby or
No church in the village, no. There's a small shrine at the outskirts. People leave offerings there.
anything an arrow shot that would make a big noise if I fired an arrow at it?
Roll an awareness check for me.
Shoot at our feet.
14.
14 again. That number's just
Oh,
all over the
yeah.
place tonight.
That is
Okay.
weird.
Lucky number today.
Right?
That's
Apparently
super
so.
weird.
That's next week's lucky number.
Yeah.
Bro, I can
So-
roll a 10 and not get a 14.
The only thing you can think of, and it would be quite a shot, is you might be able to hit one of the lanterns. It's basically just a half-covered torch that they're placed up on these large poles throughout the center of town. You might be able to strike one of those. It wouldn't create a massive noise, but it would definitely set off a bit of a spark.
And it would get everyone's attention, and they wouldn't be focused on the Witcher who's about to stumble into the situation. Hopefully, is my plan.
Theoretically.
Theoretically. Going for it.
Okay.
Ooh.
Oh, is it 14 again?
It's a 13.
Oof. So, hands slightly shaking, you lean out, draw the bow, and loose the arrow. And it thuds into the wood just under where you wanted it to strike. And there's a thump, but no spark or anything. And then two of the guards look up towards your window and go, "Someone's got a bow!" And they all push right up against the building. And one of them, you're guessing directly under you, throws a rock up towards you. It clatters to the side of the building a little bit, and then falls back down, and you can hear them kind of whispering down below. But otherwise, no, you...
Work. That was my plan all along.
And
So that's fine.
do I see all of this going on?
Yes, you saw that. From where you're sitting, you can't really get a good angle on their room. but you do clearly see all these men basically stacked up against the side of the house, hiding under this slight overcropping that is the second floor.
I'm gonna sheath my rapier. At first, thinking it was be a quick fight, I slowly begin to walk towards them, with just kind of casually
Okay.
towards the group of them.
So you two come around the corner just as time to see Brahm walking towards a group of armed men. You're still kind of just a little further out. They haven't noticed any of you yet. But one of the men steps forward. A man, he's got like the side of his head lightly burnt. His eye kind of like the eyelid droops a little bit. He's definitely seen better days. But he steps out with this large wooden club that has an iron band nailed in around the club. He steps out, looks at you.
What are you doing here? It's late. It's illegal to be out without a torch.
Truthfully, I just got into town, and I wandered around for the apothecary for something to help me sleep. And I was attempting to head back to my room, actually.
You're staying here?
Was planning on it.
We're looking for a boy.
Oh, I saw a lady and a boy, maybe an hour ago, riding past town.
Are you sure? There's a reward.
Really? How much?
Right now, it's 100 crowns.
Total?
Yes, for the location of the boy, and then another 100 if we collect him.
I'm almost positive they went that direction. I'm gonna point the other side of town, like leaving town.
Right.
When?
About an hour ago. I saw the lady ride in. She was shouting something. Crazy woman. And then she kept riding off when no one wanted to help her.
We got different news.
I hope from a good source.
Guy behind this man goes,
Worth checking out, though. All right. 3 of you down the road. We'll go inside and check.
And are you the leader of everybody here?
No. They just listen to me. Definitely not a leader.
Fair enough.
Get paid the same as them.
Why do you want to find the boy? Just because of the bounty?
Yes.
Huh. Seems like a reasonable business.
I agree.
Just curious. I'm a businessman myself, so I tend to get interested in other adventures.
You're dressed kind of fancy, especially for such a poor village.
I'm just passing through. It's along the way. Jesus, that street dog is quite loud.
Must be a war.
Street dogs are a problem down here in Lyria.
It happens in the area.
They get very opinionated and think they can do whatever they want.
There it is. There's in the chat.
Well, your business is no concern of mine, really. I'm gonna go inside and search.
Well, if I may,
Yes.
can I just be really open and honest with you?
The dogs in the city
You
are a
haven't
problem.
been so far?
No, more open. Well, yes and no. What if I wanted to pay you all to fuck off?
You'd have to pay more than 200 crowns.
Done.
What?
Done.
You have more than 200 crowns.
Not
right
on-
now.
I'm not on me. I'm not an idiot.
Well, then how can we expect your honesty?
one of the people behind him goes, "Sir, if he's offering to pay us to fuck off, it means that the boy is in the tavern."
He goes, "Shut up, that's probably not true. How much do you have on you now?"
A few coins?
A few.
But that does not answer my question. You're quite loud, and I would like to sleep.
Well, 300 crowns, and we fuck off.
Call it 250, because I'm a businessman and I don't like to agree on the same terms as everybody.
Roll a persuasion check. Ooh, I rolled well.
Was it persuasion? So charisma?
Yes.
Is he a human?
Yes.
Okay. 24.
which is 10 more than 14.
Thank you.
Right.
I was lost there for a
250. What you
second.
pay now?
It's all related.
All right.
Holds his hand out.
I'm gonna reach in and instead of going for my normal pouch, I'm actually gonna reach behind it and grab a smaller pouch out and kind of shake it and pull out about 10 or 15 coins, and then hand him the rest of the bag.
He looks inside there and it's full.
250 crowns to kindly fuck off so I can sleep for this evening.
So you're not even paying us not to look for the boy.
I just want you all to leave this fucking area so I can sleep.
Done. All right, boys.
One of them goes, well, why don't we go inside the tavern and have a drink?
Because I paid you to fuck off.
Oh, right.
And they kind of gather up, and the gentleman starts handing out coins, and then they all disperse as they're doing it. So you watch as Braum walks up to this group, talks to them for a little bit, pulls out a bag of coins, and they leave.
You know these people.
Does it look like I know these people?
You
How
know
many
Brom.
coins did you
I
have?
don't know these people. I'm not even from here.
If you've got cash, you can do anything.
Apparently, but I do not. Honestly. Does it look like I made them?
Respect.
Neither do I.
This is drab.
It's good you know this man with money there.
2,200 coins.
Yeah, we thought.
You can say that out loud.
I did.
Weird flex, but okay.
I'm just counting. Leave me alone. I had to do out loud math.
Just use a calculator next time.
I'm not that smart. Fuck, you made me mess up my.
Well, we have many valuable assets on our team.
Apparently so. Shall we?
Let's proceed.
So Braum ducks into the tavern just before you get to the door. You all walk in, make it upstairs. The crowd has died down a little bit. Maybe 10 or so less people here now than there were before. And they're all getting really quiet. Most everybody here now is just kind of quietly drinking and mumbling to whoever they're with. And they'll probably be going to bed shortly. So you head upstairs and... Braum, you gotta open the door and...
I open the door and I walk in, and you see me rubbing my face almost frustratedly. All right, the bloody witcher does not know how to cover her tracks, and now I'm out 250 gold crowns.
Money well,
Are we
money
right
well
behind
spent.
you?
Yeah. You hear her voice right behind you as you say that.
Sorry, one more time.
You don't know how to cover your tracks.
My tracks? That was Koi's tracks.
It's true. She does not have hooves.
Those could be anyone's hooves. I don't know how they found us here.
I'm gonna
Are
be
we dealing
sarcastic
with
as fuck.
I still paid. There's 14 men down there who wanted to find you. I lied to them, had some of them chase off, and then I paid the rest to fuck off for the evening. So if we could figure this out in a timely manner, so we could probably go somewhere else quietly, it would probably be a good idea.
I appreciate your coin. I don't know how they found us or who they are. I can
Well-
understand why they're after us, though.
Well, they don't seem to be intelligent people, and they don't have a leader, which means they're just a ragtag group of people looking for a bit of coin. So I'm assuming whoever hired them was also an idiot.
I hope so.
Was there anyone still in the keep?
Not that I'm aware of. I left immediately.
What about before that? Because they're looking for the boy specifically.
I took care of the keep.
Were you positive? Was there no one inside alive?
Took care of? Excuse me? What does that mean?
There was evil magic there. I took care of it.
These men were after gold,
Yes.
not magic.
Well, as long as we have gold, we can take care of it. We should fix the boy and get out of here.
The men who,
You're assuming that I'm going to keep giving gold.
the men who came here tonight were after gold. I think that you are greatly underestimating who it was that sent them. How did they know about the boy?
Well, I'm only underestimating because they only wanted they're only getting paid 200 gold.
Well, the idiots
They don't
who
Wait a
need
came
minute.
value.
here.
They want him back alive.
Presumably, yes.
The
And
people
they're
that
not
did this
looking-
to them.
They're not.
To him.
Yes. Well, I don't even know. They weren't very specific. Again, I was more worried about the number of people and not wanting to fight them, considering, well, I'm not exactly good with the stabbing.
I think it's best if we wrap this up and wrap it up quickly, because if they came, I'm sure that there are more to follow.
We need to move on.
I can make room in my cot for the boy, and I can put the shroud above it so we won't have a boy visible.
Were you able to secure the regents for the potion?
Yes, and I reach and I pull. I was able to get Wolfsbane,
The answer is yes. The answer is yes. We should get going.
Yes, the majority of the components besides Nightshade, I couldn't find any.
You're not going to do this here, are
We
you?
have the nightshade.
Yes,
Oh,
we do
perfect.
indeed. Beautiful flower.
So now the question is, do we do it here now, or do we attempt to leave?
It will make him drowsy. We can do it here now and then go with the boy resting.
Are you sure of this?
No.
Well,
Well,
It's a
I don't-
good enough, isn't he?
I don't think that he's going to make it on a journey.
I'm going to make sure those men actually left. I'll be back.
Okay.
before you leave, do you want any assistance, or do you want to go alone?
I've already seen you.
That's true.
Leave the room.
Fair enough. But, alright. Just let me know to make room for the boy in the cot, and we can go if we need to.
But what?
But anywhere but here? A general
Okay.
direction that is not here?
Rom, I think you should get it ready. I think we should be ready to leave at a moment's notice. I think it would be wise.
And then I'm gonna see the window open and actually walk over to it and lean out to see if the men are anywhere near right now currently.
You don't see any sign of them. You actually just see Avery stepping out, looking around as well. He's taking up a kind of a wandering gait as he walks around and just kind of looks around the building.
All right, well, my horse is ready. I just need to make room. So, I'll be back. If you hear screaming, it's probably me and there's a bad problem. And I'm gonna turn and walk out.
Or I'm going to punch you in the face.
That still counts as screaming.
And that would be a terrible problem in his eyes.
Yeah. Me getting hit at all is a terrible problem. I'm an old man.
And
It's
the
just
two of you,
Payback.
you were able to
dragging
find
into this.
everything you needed.
You were.
No, we
have
got the
the-
nightshade. Dude.
We have all necessary ingredients for.
Witcher, you are familiar with making this potion, correct?
I am. I'm not an adept potion maker, though. Is anyone else familiar with crafting of any kind? Maybe who could assist me?
Crafting is not in my background.
Yeah, let me see.
I will try my best.
They're not great over here. Pretty bad.
Oh, you could use your back.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
My crafting is
I got a 3.
All right.
So it's better than a 3?
No.
Boy. Would you like
Go to sleep.
to help me with the science experiment? This is.
What?
Boy, you must learn of alchemical potions. Please. Let me create
Ow, what?
this. You're going to drink this elixir, and you're going to grow stronger.
Oh yeah, I can drink. What is alk though? Alk.
It is science.
Mellical.
It is a type of magic. Of mixing. Alright, I'm going to try this.
Felix, it's just some herbs in a bottle. Okay.
Okay,
You'll be fine.
Okay.
You can do this.
He'll
Yeah.
be fine.
I can
Yes?
drink.
He can do this.
You can drink. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's +1 skill that I didn't know you had.
I'm so glad I'm not here for the
Okay.
murder of the
So what are
child.
you going to attempt to
I don't
do?
know about
Craft alchemy.
science.
Okay, you're gonna mix the
It's
potion
shooting
to
at the campaign even. so-
finalize the trial of the grasses.
And I'm going to use the Draconid mutagen.
Okay.
And he's throwing up.
Poggers. 50-50 chance. Let's go. You take those odds in Vegas, baby.
Your rollies.
What
Not
happened
touching
in
those.
Vegas stays
You
in
touched
Vegas.
them.
We're not in Vegas.
With a 53, you think I'd live?
That's positive.
53 lives.
What if above 53 is when I died?
That'd be
Or
weird.
what if above 50 was when I
That's
died?
weird. This isn't.
This
This
is
is
Witcher.
Wyhander.
It's all weird.
I was gonna say that sounds very Spyhander.
Okay. So the mutagen needs to happen after the other potion.
Okay. So the
Um,
potion first.
Yes. Which you'll have to mix.
Let's mix the potion.
Okay.
Ooh.
Don't say 14. I swear to God.
11.
Even worse.
For someone who can't mix.
Just
That's
because
what I'm saying.
just because I'm interested.
Real quick, are you adding your crafting skill and the alchemy skill?
Yes.
Okay.
And
Do you use alchemy or do you use Witcher training?
Did you want-
I'm just curious.
Oh, you can. No,
And
just
you-
use alchemy. Fine.
I just
What
didn't
is
know
your
because I've
crafting?
never played a Witcher,
I
so.
have 1 on crafting. Yes.
Oh, you have 1 on crafting.
I assume other people will craft things.
Oh,
I do the hitting.
That's
Witcher!
really bad.
You should have said you were very bad.
I did
more
say
than
I'm
that.
very non-adept
Oh, what?
at crafting.
I'm literally
She's
a better
asking
crafter
a
than her.
child to help.
I
Of
did
course
ask
she's
the
got to be
child.
bad.
I am actually a better
Well,
crafter
that's
than
the
her.
campaign. I hope you all enjoy
Holy
it.
shit!
Can I offer assistance to help her?
Well, you do have
You might be
your
watching.
inspiration.
Oh, you do.
But she rolled high
I
on the
rolled
die.
high.
She just doesn't have the high numbers.
Right. I will allow
A
you to
D10.
spend the inspiration.
I kind of wanted to,
To save his
mutagen,
campaign.
but yes, okay.
I will allow you to spend your inspiration. Mutation. I don't know. I will allow you to spend your inspiration and give Marana the roll instead,
Okay. No pressure.
if you'd like to.
I will do that.
Okay. Wait, what
That's
was the
hilarious.
What was the rule with the inspiration again?
You have
I
luck.
assumed I could buy
I have
potions.
luck.
Well, so
Oh,
all
I
it's.
do.
Oh yeah, you have luck. You can spend
Just throw
luck.
money in. Throw
Your
money
luck
in.
stat you
Yeah.
can dump into any roll you want.
There's
Uh,
a child's life
have
on the
very low
line.
luck.
Normally with inspiration you would get to re-roll, but she's re-rolling and granting you that roll.
I
So you're only
understand.
gonna get the one
I
roll.
actually understand now why
Okay,
you wanted me to
okay.
help you.
I,
Because I'm
Alien
literally
Lord.
better.
All right, Marana.
Okay.
And yes,
Yeah.
you can spend luck points on your rolls to increase the value.
Okay, so this is craft.
It has
luck,
to be
and
spent
this
prior
one.
to the roll, though.
So it's going to be
Yes.
craft,
Craft, luck.
alchemy, and you're adding luck as
Okay.
well. You can
Okay.
add as many of those luck points as you want, but they're spent for the entire night.
They
And
come
they have
back
to be
next session.
they have to be
Yes.
spent before your rolls.
Okay,
Yes.
so I'm going to spend all four for my
Smart.
measly lucks.
Okay.
Oh, I got a crit.
Roll
Oh, I did have a crit. I put it on a 4, but I
You
did.
might win.
Roll it again.
Roll again.
Yeah.
You get to roll again.
And you
they
add that.
explode.
Got a 3.
Okay, so you take that 10 you got,
Okay.
add your luck and all your applicable skills, and then add that 3 to it as well.
20. 20 total.
Okay. So
Hey, I did mental math.
you start mixing these you start mixing these components, and you watch as the way Morana does this is it's more of an art than a science for her. You just kind of you were spending a lot of time reading and studying the ritual, and you'd kind of taken the measurements and everything you're going to need to heart. The second you grab the components and everything, you mix them together, and within minutes had a frothing potion. The stench alone, you know, if you drank this, you would die on the spot. But it's supposed to work differently in people who are undergoing the trials. As far as you can tell, you think you've done a really good job.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So I walk over to Felix. Okay, so I can't make any guarantees that this is going to taste any good, but if you can get it all down in one gulp, I will give you any kind of treat that you want when we're done.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Plus, you have the chocolate. Don't forget.
Hold. I need you to do me a favor. Take a, you got like a D20 over there?
Do you want D1? What do you want? D2?
Set it on 2. Don't change it until I ask you to.
The fuck is 2? I never rolled
It's a
that
number.
low.
Higher than 1.
It's really close to 20.
All right, so you take this.
I also never rolled there.
You take this potion from Morana.
Wow.
Do not
What does it
hesitate,
smell like?
boy.
Don't smell
Do
it.
not smell it.
It's a new smell to you, but just for the sake of giving everybody the proper description here, it smells like concentrated battery acid.
No.
Oh.
Yes. It stings. Yeah, really bad. Instant. Okay. And she did say you needed to drink it all in one gulp, which is in fact the case.
Yeah.
I need you to do me a favor.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to roll a check for me. I believe it's endurance. Yes, it should be body plus
Okay.
the endurance skill.
Yep.
Yep, I need you to roll that for me.
Okay.
You need to roll it and get a 10 or higher.
Made it.
Yeah?
Yeah. Do you want another number?
Do I want another? Do I
Do you
want to
want to know the number?
Yes.
15.
Okay. Just happy it's not 14. All right.
7 and 8 is 15.
Take that 2, change it to a 3.
Now you gotta find the 3 thing. Can I just use a D4?
Here, use this dice.
Dude,
It's a
where's
countdown
use
dice.
the big
It's a
one.
countdown
Oh,
dice.
thank you.
It's literally,
It literally
designed.
counts
Wait,
up.
there's 2. Wait.
Then it's a count up dice.
Okay. I'm not
Same
done.
thing.
3's not close to the 2 on this one, but it is on this. I
Yes.
wanted to make sure I wasn't crazy.
I mean, still.
No, you are, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's still off.
All right. So you start chugging this potion, and you almost immediately begin to retch, and it's everything you can do to keep it down, but you do, and then you continue chugging this thing. Roll again. DC's 10 again.
Same thing?
Yep.
14.
That's the number.
Hey.
All right. Go ahead and take it from a 3 to a 4. You finish drinking it, and you see Felix's eyes are just watering. Those blackened veins you had seen before are there again. They're actually starting to kind of press out against his skin, almost like they're straining against his epidermis, trying to burst from his body. You can see one of his eyes has grown completely red as a blood vessel pops. And then the pain really sets in. You feel each and every one of your muscles start to cramp and spasm and cramp again, each time tighter than the last time. You watch as Felix curls in on himself and against his will begins to scream out in pain loudly. You can actually, downstairs, outside of the tavern, you can hear the boy screaming fairly clearly. People are starting to get quiet. You can hear somebody go, "What the hell's that?" from inside. And you watch as Felix starts to convulse and shake, and then calm. And then he lays still.
Running back to the room.
Okay. So you're all standing there, looking at Felix. You can't even tell if he's breathing right now. He's just laying there. Avery bursts into the room, sword drawn, ready for anything, as everybody's just gathered around Felix.
What did you do?
I squeeze his shoulder.
Who's?
The boy.
Ah, Avery.
He
And
doesn't respond.
remember happiness. Remember your mortality. And think of your happiest moment. Cling on to this life.
His skin feels extremely cold to the touch, almost stiff. Even in your heightened senses, you can't see any sign of breathing at all.
Do not succumb to the fire. Become the fire. You are strong, Felix.
What happened?
He almost shoots straight up out of the bed. He wakes up. You can see the color start to come back to his flesh, you have way more energy than you had earlier. You still feel very weak, but you can stand on your own 2 feet now for sure.
Felix, I am so proud of you. It did. How do you feel? Are you okay?
Still kind of bad.
But
But a lot better.
Good.
But you did it, Sprout. Look at you.
Yeah. Where's the candy?
You can have as much candy as you want. We will stop by
That was
every
disgusting.
shop. It was terrible.
It definitely
Can I
didn't
please
smell
never
good.
drink another one?
Yes.
Wow.
Not that one exactly, but
Oh.
you might have to. Avery, could you hear downstairs?
I heard a scream. I didn't see the men anywhere.
The
But I
men?
heard the scream.
We've definitely aroused suspicion.
Why was there so much screaming?
Well, it fucking hurt.
Watch your language.
Oh, sorry.
You're not an adult yet. Even though you've probably gone through
It
more than
does-
most men.
it
Still
I
does
not.
feel like he has
fucking
10
hurt.
minutes of adulthood before we treat him as a child again.
That's
so
why I said he gets
curse
one.
all you want.
I don't think it is safe for us to stay here.
We
Well,
should go.
Well, the car's ready, so if you want, we should go downstairs.
Oh, hi.
Damn stray dogs again.
Dogs just let
Why
themselves
did
in this
everywhere? My
town.
God. The worse the rats.
Better than men
You
with
hear
swords.
banging on the door.
Everybody all right in there? Open up!
I walk over and I open it.
Hello, miss. It
Yes.
was screaming. We heard it downstairs.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. My son, he's been having terrible nightmares, but we've given him a sleeping dram and he should hopefully be good soon.
I just flop over and like close my eyes.
Pull the cloak up a little bit.
So, the man who you open the door to is he's the tavern keep. He's a fairly rotund man. He's got a hat not unlike Brahms, but just much lower in quality. As opposed to it being leather, it's canvas. There's no feather in the cap either. But he's got like a large apron on over what looks like a green leather jerkin, and some brown, fairly standard pants. Lots of stains on the apron as well, and he kind of tries to look past you at the room, and he catches just a glimpse of the fact that there are a few of you in there, and
This didn't know you had a son when you came in, but no parties. Take it downstairs.
Yes, we will. I'm so sorry. We're all gathered here.
hello, there's
Sasha.
Sasha.
Hey, you get to see her.
Yes,
Whoa!
Player 7.
It really is a
Join
party
the
now.
chat.
Our best looking co-star.
Wow.
Of course.
She wanted to make an appearance
Yeah,
tonight.
she just
That
wanted
was-
to say hi.
What?
Oh my God,
She's a little extra sassy tonight.
Yeah.
She is.
Yeah, she is.
Well, anyway, take it downstairs, please.
Yes, we will. I'm so sorry that it was as loud as it was. But
It's a night terror.
yes, the poor thing. His father passed recently. He's been having a very hard time of it.
My dear brother.
Too many single mothers in this parts, especially after the war.
It is very true, but I'm very fortunate to have my family here with me. So we will be traveling in the morning.
Odd bunch of family. You're all related. That's
through
none of,
marriage.
none of my business. Doesn't. It's not my concern, really. Sorry. Anyway, we've put out the mutton, and I'm starting to cook up some calf flank. So I think you
Wonderful.
might enjoy that.
And I'm so sorry. What was your name?
It's Dojin.
Dojin. Wonderful to meet you, and we will most certainly keep it down and make our way down to the mutton soon.
Absolutely.
Right.
I'm quite famished.
You came from Kavir.
Correct. Yes. I'm here to sell furs, actually. If you know anyone who's
Okay.
looking.
It's just a bit funny when you think about it. Came from the far north down south to sell furs.
But they make wonderful scarves. Ermine. The noble women love it.
Take a look at my cloak. Rip it off the boy.
So it doesn't look as nice as
As mine.
Oh, yes. Well, anyway, I don't want to pry. I'm sorry if you're looking for work. I know that there's always something to be done in town.
Block you, basically.
We appreciate it. We're trying to move from the north. It's easier for us to be away from home with everything that happened.
Out of sight, out of mind. The troubles down here in the borders are not so great. Nilfgaard's always threatening. Their patrols, sometimes they just cross the border acting like they already own the land.
Oh, that's horrible. But I believe as traders, we should hopefully be as uninvolved as we can be.
Let's just watch out for the road tax.
A road tax? Well, yes, of course. Thank you.
And if you are planning on selling some nice furs. The Lord up in the manor, sure he'd greatly appreciate it. A mage moved in with him. Don't know if you've heard this.
A mage? Well,
Yes.
I thought they were all gone from these parts.
Well, that's what I thought. I don't trust him, to be honest, especially not after what happened in Banard, but a mage nonetheless.
Well, no, but I suppose it is tradition at this point, is it not? For nobles to employ a mage for their council.
Yes, tradition, maybe it seems like something I don't really care about, to be honest.
A very archaic tradition, certainly.
Right, but still, a mage means that the Lord obviously has some money to spend, at least until the mage takes it all, so...
Yes, well, we thank you so much for your advice, and we will certainly keep it down and be down in the dining room quite soon.
Okay.
Thank you again.
And if my daughter is bothering you at all, just let me know.
Oh, I don't believe we've seen her, but yes,
oh,
we
you
will.
you have, the with the mole.
Ah,
Wonderful woman.
she brought me my drink. Very nice lady.
It's unfortunate she looks older than me, but she's my daughter.
She's from a hardy stock, I'm sure.
Yes, originally from Cadwin, actually.
Oh, wow,
Oh,
Caitlin.
nice.
Wonderful. Well, you'll have to excuse us. We really must get him to bed and get ready to come down.
Oh, I'm sorry for bothering you. Just, I don't know, I kind of like talking to you.
Oh, thank you. It's been lovely, truly.
Okay.
He's blushing a little bit. He turns and walks down the stairs.
Okay, and
Doodles.
I shut the door. My God. Okay, well, we really need to get out of here, I think. We've
Let's go.
already drawn much too much attention to ourselves.
Can we yeet the boy out the window?
No, absolutely.
Lean out the window. How far's the drop?
15 feet.
I can fucking walk.
Felix is doing much better, aren't you, Felix?
Yeah.
Brom, you have the cart ready, correct?
Absolutely. If he's feeling up to it, he can even ride in the front with me, or he can lay down in the back. It's up to you.
At this point, you feel like you're going through like a moderate case of food poisoning, really. Much better than you felt mere minutes ago.
So the question is, do you want to keep laying down, or would you like to ride sitting up for a bit?
I'll still sit up. I just don't want to be in the open.
Why don't you lay in the back with me?
I think
can
that's a
read
good
you some
idea.
stories.
Keep the
So no
cloak
one sees
around
him.
you too. It'll keep you warm.
Okay.
But I need it back.
There is, however, one part of the trials he hasn't undergone yet. He still needs to be administered the mutagen.
But I think the mutagen, if he screamed that much with the potion, it's not something that we should do here in town, correct?
Let's wait a little bit.
So this is going to sound terrible. Should we do it, like, along the way, after we've left town?
I think if we are able to find somewhere that is peaceful, isolated, yes.
Oh, this is going to sound terrible. What about the keep?
Oh,
It's isolated, completely alone.
well,
It is possible.
You
that...
said you've cleared everything. If that is to be believed, it's probably one of the safest places we could go. Hunker down in one of the spare rooms, and hopefully he can get it off his chest.
But do we feel it would be watched?
What's on my chest?
The men who were sent
yelling.
here after the boy.
Oh.
Someone sent him here. Someone understood that you two were on your way here.
There are many eyes on the keep.
Oh, it's the mage.
The
What?
mage.
Yeah, he left.
Another one?
Yeah, he's the one who took me.
What did that mage look like?
Your best visions are of a man in a like an aquamarine or turquoise cloak. You do know that he had a fairly deeper, booming voice. He was tall, very tall, and there was some presence about him. Not only were the people that talked to him terrified of him, but he was strong. And you'd always heard that witches and mages were frail and weak people, which is why they have to use magic to survive.
He's tall. He wears a cloak. I don't know if I've seen his face, but he's big. He's not like the mages I heard about.
Do you remember any identifying traits about him? Any scars or...
Just a turquoise cloak
My
and
card
his
is dead.
voice
What did his voice sound like?
was really deep and scary. I'd know it anywhere.
Well, you have all of us here now, so he won't be able to get to you. But if you hear him or you recognize him, tell us right away, okay?
Yeah, I will.
My cot's downstairs. I put a bedroll on the back to make it a little more comfortable for the both of you. I have a question for the innkeeper now. I'll be right back. I immediately start with a little bit of haste. I'm walking out the door and downstairs towards the innkeeper.
I should get our horses ready. Mage might be watching us.
I don't think that the men came out of nowhere. How would they have known? They clearly were not very intelligent, and they were here for gold. That's it. But who would have known that there was a female witcher and a child going through the trials? Why would they be looking for them if they did not understand what was going on? There's something more to this.
Someone could be watching.
Someone
Cannot
could be watching.
just be a coincidence. I don't think so. That's too much of a
I'll get the horses
Wait,
ready.
wait. Wrap yourself up in my cloak and we'll head down, nephew.
What is that? My name's Felix.
Child. I do not have patience for children. Let's go, child.
Okay.
It's okay, Felix. I'll walk with you.
What is
She'll
nephew?
explain what
Who is that?
family means.
Yeah. He called me nephew. She.
Oh, it's.
That's not my name.
We'll tell you in the road. There'll be plenty of time.
Okay.
If we need to keep up appearances, child, I'm your aunt. That's all you need to know.
Many will remember your name.
I don't know what that is either.
Don't worry. We're all proud of you for being alive right now.
Let's go.
I
Okay.
like make sure the cloak is tied around you, and I just basically like lead you down the stairs, but keep you close basically.
Yeah, wherever you lead, just full follow. Just
Yeah.
Frantically packing up.
All right. So you head downstairs. The tavern keep looks like he's starting to close some stuff up. He's put out some meats, and some of the last dregs of customers are eating those. And what it seems like they do is they walk up and they turn in a mug, slide some coins across the table, and grab some meat and exit.
I'm gonna walk up. Is there any empty mugs on any of the tables right now?
No.
I'll walk up and grab one of the mugs that's on the table, if there is one, and kind of lean over. Excuse me, barkeep. I have a question.
It's Dungeon.
Donjon?
Yes.
Pleasure, Donjon. My name is Brom. Pleasure to meet you. I had some questions real quick, if possible. And at that, I kind of put a couple silver down and slide it across the table. More of information, if anything.
I'll give what I can.
Absolutely. The mage that you spoke of that moved in to help the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
I've been searching for a mage. Do you happen to know what he looks like?
No, I haven't seen him.
Any rumors around?
I know his name.
Ooh, what's his name?
Dravetti of Sidaris.
Dravetti?
Dravetti. That it?
Dravetti of where?
Sidaris. To the west.
As I'm saying this, I'm actually scribbling some notes down. Sidaris, perfect. I was just curious. I'm looking for a specific mage that helped out my family, and I was just curious if he was the one.
I wouldn't know that.
Well, that's why I was just coming to ask a couple questions. So,
Right?
how long has he been with the Lord?
Oh, 2 days, maybe 3.
Well, thank you very much for the questions. That was all. Simple and easy. I bid you a good night.
Hey, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn and head outside.
Goodbye.
Have a good night.
Wait, one question for you.
I turn around. Yes.
Were you, with the lady upstairs?
Yes, I am.
It's terrible lot, huh? She strikes me as somebody who won't last a day on the road.
Single mother's such a terrible thing.
Yes. That child was really having a nightmare.
It was terrible. He was screaming for a while. We had to give him some root to calm him down.
Attracts all manner of beasts, like Vidalkin. Be careful. Some people crawl right through the window and eat his soul.
The stories about those are terrible, and we absolutely understand. It's one of the reasons I went to the apothecary earlier. I had to get some sleeping tonics. Nice man, that one.
The apothecarium?
Yes.
He's a crook.
For sure?
Yes, absolutely. He likes to pass off components and things that aren't the right. They're not the right components.
Well, I feel better.
Are you... How often does he do this?
How many times are you gonna die?
I don't know. He's been accused of it a couple times. No one's ever died, but sometimes he gives basic
Did you check?
leaves and milkweeds.
My crafting is 3.
Well then, hopefully he does
Why am I
not...
the best crafter in the group?
It would be it'd be a shame if the boy got sick over the apothecary not doing his job. I would have to report him to the Lord,
Agreed.
and that crime would be quite painful. I understand when you're excited, you drink, and you seem to have quite a good night. Good haul, really.
Yes, thank you.
Of course. Well, thank you so much. I do appreciate the knowledge and information. It's very helpful.
Hand on the table and slides the crown towards him.
Good day. And I turn and I continue walking out.
Wait, one more question about the lady.
I lean back and hopefully turn. Yes.
Well, it's a statement, really. She's quite beautiful, and I am without a wife, so if she's looking for, to shack up with somebody who already owns a business, you just let her know.
Absolutely. I believe she made mention of possibly looking for another husband. I will let her know.
Right, but she'll have to get rid of the boy. I'm just kidding. Of course she doesn't.
We'll talk after. She's coming down actually here in a minute. She should be walking out with a few
Oh.
others to break apart.
Oh, he takes his hat off the
Your
counter
new
and puts it
life.
on.
Good. I would wait to talk to her until she comes back in, because we're going to be heading out real quick to grab a few things from my cart.
Okay.
So I would wait to come back in, because she'll probably be more agreeable then.
All right.
Perfect. And I walk out.
As you're walking out, you hear him say, "He just lied." He walks over behind the bar. Okay, you go grab the cart. You're grabbing supplies to leave. You go get Koi. Okay. Does anybody else have anything else they're doing aside from?
Not dying.
Okay, good.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
keep it
grab-
up.
A quick snack, like a hurried snack, since they are serving food.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, basically. Do you feel well enough to get some sustenance?
Oh yeah, just the candy.
You need more than candy to grow strong.
I was promised candy.
And also nutritional food to grow strong.
Protein.
Okay, I'll eat meat and candy. That's a terrible.
Perfect. I'll take it. I'll take it if it will shut you up.
Sounds gross.
Candy this, candy that. Children.
Maybe bread.
With their sweets.
Bread and candy would be better.
Boy.
You can have whatever food you want, but you do have to eat at least a little bit of the broccoli. A little bit.
Oh, I actually like broccoli.
Good. Then you eat the broccoli and this
And some
mutton,
meat.
it's amazing, isn't it?
Yes.
You would really be missing out if you didn't eat the mutton. And again, the sweets, they can come after.
There's a story about this. When you fatten up kids and then
But
turn
they've-
them into a pie or something like that.
Well, while you would make a delicious pie, I do not eat children.
You would not make a delicious pie.
That is correct. With
Nobody
what
is
you-
turning you into pie.
Have you eaten?
Eat your food.
Have you eaten a human pie?
I'm about to.
They
You
say
don't
witches
shut
are
up and eat your
monsters.
food.
You too.
Have you looked in the mirror?
Well, no.
Felix, it would help you feel better.
Don't.
Poor child.
They're so mean. It would make you feel much better if you ate a little bit.
Just please.
Right.
You can't have sweet and whatever that was that you just drank. It's gonna turn. Eat some food.
Yeah.
Real food.
I don't know if real food's gonna help either. It's pretty fucking gross.
Excuse me.
Your
Dude.
10 minutes was up 10 minutes ago.
Language.
Come on. No one ever yells at me like this.
It's
We-
because we care.
Exactly.
It has an outhouse mouth.
All right, so you gather the cart. Your horse is pulling it. You pull that around. You've got the horses. Everything looks like it's ready to go at this point.
Once you guys get in, I'll actually pull the canvas along the back to kind of close the two halves so it kind of sits there. So you guys can crawl and even peek out if you need to.
Does anybody not have a horse?
Yeah, me.
Well,
You?
I didn't rate myself as having a horse, so I'm gonna say no.
But he already said you had one.
I have.
Oh, you have a horse.
I
Okay.
definitely.
Well, if we were traveling together, then I would probably have a horse.
I would imagine.
you.
Okay, yes, I have a horse. I have
You know
a
what? I
beautiful
probably
horse.
also have a horse as a 12-year-old slave. So
You have a little pony.
why don't we just write it in?
Boy can
You might
ride
have a
the
mule. A riding mule.
Back of it, you're in the back. Of the goddamn cart. Get in your cart.
All
Well,
right.
with them two in the back, if no one has a horse, feel free to hop on the front. There's 2 seats.
I'd hop on.
All right.
As I sling onto Koi, I'll sort of like go behind the cart and say, "Boy, I told you not to look into the mirror. Because first off, you look like shit. But second off, because the next time you look in the mirror, you will be a man. You are strong.
Wouldn't I want to see that?
Then, not now.
Oh, okay.
Patience, boy.
It
All
takes
right,
time.
Then I'll look then.
Don't say that.
Where are you going?
To be correct, the direction that the gentleman did not go.
All the people.
Oh, absolutely.
They kind of just dispersed throughout the village.
Well, the direction I told them the lady didn't go, which is the other direction.
Okay.
Back the way I came.
All right. So the original direction you pointed was west along the road. You could go south, but you'd hit the river fairly soon. North, there are no roads leading north, and it's fairly mountainous. And then east is back towards the keep.
There's gonna be a.
We should
Yes,
actually.
At least necrophages
Let's
will haunt the grounds, but it's a hot zone.
let's head to the river. Actually, we should be able to make camp, and it shouldn't be too loud. As terrible as that sounds.
I mean, if
Drown
it's
out
a.
by the sound of the river.
Yeah, see.
I think
I've had
that is wise.
experience.
And if anyone comes from the side of the river, generally we'll hear some water splashing. We'll just need a few of us to stand watch along the rear end. So, probably as good a plan as any, unless someone else has an idea.
How hidden is the boy?
The canvas is closed, so
Oh,
no one can really
perfect.
see inside.
Yeah, it's a covered merchant's wagon.
Yeah.
Okay, it's covered.
Yeah,
Excellent.
it's not as tall as like you'd expect, like a Western like Comstock wagon or something, but it's he's pretty well covered.
I think we've done the best we can. We need to ride.
Let's head to the river.
So you leave south in the middle of the night, down towards the river. It's not too far from here, about a half a mile or so. As you find a nice place to kind of pull over and start setting up a bit of a camp. 2 men are wandering by, carrying weapons, and they're kind of talking. They've got torches, and they walk right towards the camp, and one of them goes, "Hello, oh, fucking right off," and they just turn and keep going.
Sometimes it's great to be me.
It is great to be rich, and we appreciate your assets.
Well,
It's
no-
great to be acquainted. What a good friend you are, Brom.
Yes, sometimes. Just I'm going to have to. I have to sell so many things to recover that.
How do you two know each other?
My father, actually. My father was a merchant. They were friends, acquaintances, great
Really?
family friend, and more uncle-esque type, but you know,
I appeared
call
once in a
him
blue
friend.
moon, really.
Yes. The estranged uncle that's not really uncle. You know the whole thing.
No, I don't know.
I'm sorry.
Take your word for it.
Yes. But that's how we know each other. It's family businesses, basically.
See.
And you two?
We've been trading together for quite some time.
Furs?
Yes.
Yes.
First?
Now the question
Yes.
is, are you actually trading furs?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, well, good.
I'm more of a merchant guard than anything.
Oh.
It looks like you prefer the avians over the mammals, though. You're not wearing fur.
I think it's quite a lovely cloak.
We can't dip into our own merchandise,
Yeah,
clearly. But we fell on some hard times, some brigands. They overtook us and they stole most of our stock. So we are trying to recover it, correct?
Yes.
There's strength in numbers. And
Exactly.
I'm grateful for the numbers that we have. The threads of destiny have all led us here. This is our fate we share together.
Destiny, what the fickle bitch.
Sounds a bit
Oh,
ridiculous.
by the way, I was actually, my original intent was actually to introduce you to you. As I point to you two.
Oh yes, I suppose that was why we
That
met
was eventually going to be a
originally.
thing, but well, plans never survive first contact with witches.
So I've heard.
It does sound like we might have some mutual interests that we should speak more about in
Of course.
quieter places.
Or latter places. The river might, might
Potentially.
be suitable.
Potentially. But we do have
But trees
more
carry
pressing matters.
secrets.
Drink often?
Trees carry secrets,
Powder
so
in
we
here
got to be
from,
careful.
like, from my drink.
They like
When
to
I
talk.
breathe into it, it
That
shut
is
up my
very true.
eyeball.
You ever heard of a spoon?
That's not how.
Just mix it.
I did.
I'm really bad at mixing myself, so I empathize.
I was assaulted in the eyeball.
Mixed.
One.
I mean,
You
it's
had
just
a
so
one.
many like ingredients. Do I stir clockwise, counterclockwise? I don't know.
Everything's just green. It's like a bunch of plants.
Why is it burning? There's no fire.
But yes, it's a pleasure to meet all of you. Most of you that I've never met. My name is Brom von Kerridge.
You have an odd definition of pleasure. It's been quite an exciting evening.
It is not quite what we had anticipated at the inn,
No,
but
not at all.
Avery is quite cross with me.
I do apologize about that. When I get all twiddle-pated, I tend to loose lips.
Yes, Brom, you and I will have to have a conversation about the repercussions of discussing things told in confidence.
Does that what you do? Oh, it's not just me then.
Well, quit putting me in awkward positions, and I'll stop saying things.
Just don't open your mouth unless it's not necessary.
Or just tell me what it's a secret, and I won't say anything.
Your gift of gab brought us all together, and for that I am thankful.
It's all I've got, so it works for me.
But Brom,
Which
from
God?
here on out, why don't we
Don't
just
get to
assume that everything
Gab.
discussed in the confines of this group are secrets?
Yeah.
Great. Now, I believe Felix will need some rest before he takes part in the second portion? Or is it best to do it now, Witcher?
I have the ingredients necessary.
Well, you know, once you pick something, you have a time limit.
That's right. It is expiring. Are you ready, Felix?
Yeah, to drink one of those gross things again, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this one is going to be quite stinky, I think. But the treats were good, were they not?
You have much resilience. You
You'll be fine.
I guess.
So you're attempting to
The mutagen.
okay. So the mutagen is imbibed as the ritual ends. So the casting of the ritual would be the next portion. Which you can kind of, you have all of the components you would need to start it. It's mostly a magical release is all it is you're focusing some of the mutagenic properties directly into what would basically be the Witcher's spirit in a sense.
Okay.
It is a strenuous exercise. You're looking at the focuses you would need to use, as well as the power you would need to draw on, and with a lot of study and maybe a second mage, this wouldn't be that big of a deal. The problem is that there is a chance that if you fail, he dies, but there's another chance that the chaos just eats you up entirely and you die.
Okay, so the odds are not good. Would it be prudent to find another mage to ensure that we can do this successfully?
You can do this successfully. So far, we have gone past any of your undertakers. You are more than an undertaker.
You're an overtaker.
I don't want to risk the child's life.
The child's life's already been risked. This is how we can assure him a future.
From the stories we've all heard, isn't these trials themselves, aren't they a risk anyway?
Of course they are,
There's
but
never a promise that anyone will survive these trials.
Brom, when you spoke to the innkeeper about the other mage,
I was doing questions, yes. Dravetti? Of, some place that I can't read my own writing? Seems I was in a hurry. Sidaris?
Yes.
Because it definitely autocorrected, because it said drive 2.
drive to. Well, then it's decided. We drive to Sidaris.
Dravetti of Sidaris. Apparently he's been around for about 2 days. If I was a man of betting, which I absolutely am, he's probably the mage that was in the keep. Because that, well,
Do
timelines kind of equal out.
you want that for the child?
We most likely do not want to take him.
No.
But the innkeeper did say that there was a sorceress, the nobles.
No, that was, he was talking about the mage.
Dravetti is the gentleman I spoke of.
Oh, it's one and the same. Well,
Actually, just to make sure, is that a male or a female name?
Oh, it's a male name.
Okay, so I want to verify my own brain. All right, and yes, I'm making assumptions, but I tend to be quite good at them for the most part. I would say that that's probably the mage that the boy remembers.
okay, so then that is out of the question.
You created that alchemical potion better than I could have. That's for a witcher, and you have this tome of all knowledge. You can do this.
I can enlist them for help in a ritual to make it easier, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, the Witcher would be particularly helpful. Everybody else can engage in it, but there are risks to doing so for non-casters.
Okay.
I'll assist you in any way I can.
And that would be ritual crafting?
Oh, yes.
Well,
So this one's for making me a witcher then?
Felix, I'm afraid that you don't have any other options.
Why?
I know that it is not fair. But people like you and I, we have different fates than most people. And I understand that it is a lot right now. And it is going to be hard. And I am not going to lie to you and say that it won't be hard. But you have us here to help you. And we are not going to let you fail. You have to trust us.
What if I die?
Trust yourself as well.
Died yet.
You're still here.
Because of the gross drink.
It was very gross. And this one is going to be hard and it is going to be scary. But we need you to be brave, and we are all going to be brave too.
I actually am. I walk up and approach you as well. I don't know how much it'll help, but it's helped me. And I actually reach over and I take one of my rings off. And I reach over and say, keep this. It was a gift from my mother before she was always one of the luckiest people I've ever known. And then she handed me this ring, and she was very unlucky. And since I've worn it, I've had nothing but good luck in my life. So here, take it. Hold on to it. While you hold it,
Well, I can't wear it, so I have to hold it.
It will
Well,
fit
fa-
you someday.
we'll fashion a necklace until then.
Yeah, it's really big. You have really big hands.
I'm unfortunately quite tall.
Yeah.
But hold on to it tight and think about your next step. Focus on what you can do and what you can be.
You will be stronger than any human. You'll be stronger than you ever thought possible. physically and mentally. Any monsters, demons, you are humanity's hope.
Not if I die.
You will not die.
If you
How
live,
do you know?
I do not know.
if you live, we'll make you your own cloak.
My own what?
Cloak.
You can do that?
Yeah,
You know how to sew? My mother sewed.
Oh, that's nice. Mine did too.
Remember your mother. Remember your family, your past. This
I don't know
will
where
take
they're
its
at
toll.
now.
If
Think of them fondly and hold on to that memory.
I may ask a question, when I heard you talking earlier, and you mentioned that there was called the trial of choice, right? I believe you brought it up at one point.
Yes.
Traditionally, it is the first trial.
The question is, does he have to continue from here? He's healing better. Is he harmed by not continuing? Or can he stop here and just not be a witcher? Because we can still give him the choice he deserves. We don't
This is
have...
on you, Felix. This is your moment to decide. Your trial of choice.
Am I gonna die without it?
You'll die with or without it. We all have that same fate in the end. But while you're alive,
Oh, I thought you meant if I took it, I was gonna die. Jeez. You gotta be more clear when you talk.
Even I'm sitting over here quite...
I went through a real roller coaster of emotions there.
you will
Roller
still.
coaster? What's that?
It's there's two pieces of wood on each side.
Okay.
Yeah, and then like one person goes up and the other goes down.
Felix, it is a very important decision, but she's right. If you don't take it, we can't guarantee that you will live. And we can't guarantee that you will live if you do, but I know that you have a better chance if you do. I know in my heart that you will live. I have seen it in dreams. And I know that that might not be much comfort, but
You see things in dreams?
I do. And I see you. And I see you growing very big and very strong. So you have to trust us with this, okay?
Just realize that you are going into it, and I want to make sure you know what this choice means, Felix. This being a witcher is not easy. If stories are true, you tend to feel less. Your emotions get slightly taken away. People will judge you and look upon you in fear as a monster. It will be a harsh and hard life, and you will have to fight every bit of it. There will not be a day you don't stop fighting. You're a strong lad, but I want to make sure you know what you're walking into. The life of a witcher is never easy, especially here on Earth. Now, where they don't exist, monsters will be cropping up every which way. The world has gotten worse.
That's why the world needs you most. But what he speaks of is true. This is not a decision to take lightly. But what you do have is the gift of childhood. Everything that you've done so far, your family, your memories, you have that as your inner strength. And if you always keep that close to your heart, you will find the truth. You'll find your way.
Well, you said all witchers have the same life, but then you said earlier that there's no female witchers, so what if I'm different?
Nobody knows anything.
That is a good point. That it has
I
been
know,
something
I know,
new.
I don't.
I did not ever think I'd see a female witcher.
Carve out your own destiny.
But no matter what, even she will experience some of the, I would say, just disdain and overall suspicion of witches.
Yeah, well, I'm a blacksmith's son. No one ever really looked up to me anyway.
I just want to make sure
Not
that
a
you
fancy life.
but it's a good one.
Before I was giving up.
I just want to make sure that you are aware of what you're going into and you have that choice. Giving someone the option and knowledge of what they may or may not go through, I feel is important, especially for you, because it is a big decision.
Thank you.
Of course.
I think I want to do it. I want to be stronger. I want to fight back.
You
Yeah.
will. You will, Felix. I promise you. And listen, what they say is true. You will be looked at as being different, but I understand that, and I promise that as long as you draw breath, that I will be there with you, okay? We'll make it through this.
Okay.
I trust you. I hope that you trust me.
I do.
Okay,
I have to.
I'm going to need all of your help. I'm not strong enough to do this on my own, but I think with all of us, we should be able to get it done. So I start preparing the ritual ingredients.
Okay. Just give me a show of hands. Felix, don't you dare raise your hand. Which of you are helping with the ritual?
If I can, I will.
Was this very much a? Did you ask everybody?
I think,
yeah,
okay.
I
she
think
did.
there can be up to 4 of us, so it's between the 2 of you.
You told me not to raise it.
He's just like, I
I
had
admire
to.
your spirit, Felix. Never give that
I
up.
didn't raise it. It stayed the same height.
I'm so proud of this boy.
Avery,
I'll do whatever she asks of me, but
why don't you keep guard? We'll be vulnerable when we're doing this. You have very acute senses and very fast reflexes, as I know.
you think that's wise? Don't want them risking their lives. I'm more than willing to.
Wait, this isn't gonna risk my life, is it? No one said that.
It might potentially. But you've already volunteered. Don't back out now.
If you're afraid, I'll do it.
No, she has a point.
Avery,
going.
we will need someone to watch over us.
Going to patrol the area.
Okay.
If this is how I die, I will be so upset.
TPK for
So I'm gonna break into a rules mechanic
This is
real
actually
quick.
a one shot.
Yeah.
This was actually a one shot.
Shit.
It's the only way to guarantee a successful campaign ending. One shot. No,
Kind of true.
So, as you begin this ritual, there are a number of vigor points that you need to allot to the ritual. That being said, you're not entirely sure how many are going to be required. Whatever you don't allot will be taken from the rest of the party that is helping if you fail.
Like,
For each point of vigor you spend above your vigor, which non-spellcasters, your vigor is a 0, you take 5 points of damage.
Oh.
So, you have to decide how much of your vigor you're willing to invest.
Like above my vigor threshold,
As much
so
as
my
you
own
want.
stamina.
As much as you want, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, don't kill yourself.
Yeah, how much of your stamina, that's right. How much of your stamina do you want to invest?
Is this per round or total?
Total.
Total.
But whatever that target number is, let's say it's 10. If you only invested 5 and you fail, then I divvy those remaining 5 points up amongst the group, and that's basically the amount of damage they would take. Now, you have a buffer zone because you do have a
I do
vigor
have
score.
vigor. Okay, so let's say my vigor is 5 and I want to increase my spell threshold to 15, so I would be risking 10 of my stamina.
So
and
you'd be risking 15.
I'd be risking 15 of my
Yes.
stamina.
Yeah, but
Okay.
you'd only take damage for 10 worth.
But wouldn't it be
That would also be
50?
50 points of health.
Yeah, because it's 5 points.
Yes.
Per.
If you
Oh,
fail,
oh,
that's
oh,
Which I'm pretty
oh,
sure
oh.
with max
Yes.
body, that's the most amount
Yeah,
of health you
yeah,
can
yeah.
have.
Okay,
So
okay, I get what you're saying. So,
yeah. Equate each point.
Are you
How much of
sure?
your life force are you willing to invest into this, knowing full well that if you don't invest enough of your own, it will be taken from them if you fail the spell?
Sure you don't. Pretty quiet forest.
can we have? I thought it was a max of 4 people could contribute.
Yes. And Felix is not contributing.
Felix
So
isn't
that's only
contributing.
3.
Yeah, I'm a victim.
So
Oh, I thought it was 4 including myself. So 4 people total. Is it?
Oh, no, you and 4.
Oh, okay.
I
Okay.
think you want my
Then
help.
yes, I
Yo.
would. I would very much like your help.
let's all
You
follow
owe me.
this person.
Okay.
Mr. Brownie.
If I survive this.
Oh, this system is very complicated.
I knew I was a temp. Damn it.
Okay, so I'm sorry. It's 5 points of stamina above each vigor point.
No,
5
okay,
points.
so your vigor's 5, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's say that this spell would require 10.
Okay.
You have to choose how much of that you're going to invest. For each point, for each 1 stamina you spend above your vigor, you would take 5 points of damage. For the case of this ritual, it's only if you fail the check, though.
Okay.
But if you don't make up enough of that, they'll have to pay for that. So if it was just you and Avery, and it was a 10 points was how much you needed to invest, and you only invested 5. If you failed, he would automatically take 25 points of damage.
Oof. Okay.
But you'd be fine because you didn't invest over your vigor.
How does that work with wound threshold?
It doesn't just hit you.
Just hit you?
Yep.
Okay. I'm like looking at how much my regular spells cost, and it makes me a little nervous about this one.
Roll a magical training check after you choose your initial amount, and then I can kind of give you a hot or cold.
Okay. I'm gonna say 10 total, or was that what we decided was 50 points of damage?
No.
No.
10,
You
10
take-
total would be 25
Yeah.
points of
That
damage.
seems reasonable.
Because
I'm
it would
gonna
be
do-
5 over your threshold.
I'm gonna say
Yeah.
10 total.
Okay.
That seems. I don't know what everybody's health points are, but I hope we're all decently above that.
Goddamn merchant.
Best damn merchant in the town.
About to get my shit
All right,
wrecked
go
by
ahead and roll your
magic.
magical training.
Okay. I rolled a 1.
That means you roll
Oh,
again.
you rolled a 1? Yeah, so roll again and subtract it from your total once you add it all up.
I rolled a 1.
Oh, that's good. That's actually
Good.
really good.
Oh, that's the best.
Yes,
Okay.
because
Okay.
because now it's in reverse. So now she's only subtracting 1 from her total. So
Which
you add it
actually
all
means
up,
it's
subtract
flat.
1.
Because
Yeah, it's
the 1
actually
still
just a flat
counts
roll.
as your roll.
Okay.
So it initially adds to your roll, but then you subtract the next number,
Yep.
which was 1. So
1.
it's just
So
a
it's
0. So it's whatever your
So
stat
it's
is.
9.
Yeah, you have no idea how much stamina is going to be invested in this.
Oh, thank goodness that wasn't the actual casting.
I did. I
I
had
was
a
kinda
mild
freaking
panic
out
attack.
there.
I was like, oh!
Well, yeah, you don't have any inspiration, and you've already used all your luck, right?
And, yeah.
We could TPK.
Get the fuck out
Okay.
No.
Well, I don't feel
Let
like
it
this is
happen.
right of me
No.
to ask
I like Braum.
without getting
It'll happen
feedback.
on Friday soon.
No, I like Braum. I like Godric. Leave me alone.
Do you want some of? Could we use some of?
Could they use some of their luck?
No.
Mm.
Take my points.
Well, I can't guarantee
it.
that I will
You
be
got it?
successful at this. Are we all sure that we're willing to risk this?
Get him out of here.
Fastest guns in the West.
Fireballs in the chat.
How about we
Get
stop
him out of
thinking
here.
about it? And
Just
Just
do
do it.
Just do it. The more we
Someone
think
got a
about it, the
banhammer.
more we're
Good.
gonna say
Good
no.
time tonight.
Okay.
Bots.
I've got my lucky cloak.
All right.
Here's my lucky ring.
So we all comfortable with 10?
That's a new thing. Anytime we kill some bots.
Well, it's your choice. They can't help with that. They can't
we
even.
don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. They don't know how much you're investing or if it's
Yeah,
enough. If
just
it's
go
too
for
much,
it.
too little.
All right.
It's just gonna be pain.
All right. All right. We'll try it.
Okay. So, Marana starts tracing the sigils that would be required in the sand or in the dirt of this river beach. Then you start placing the artifacts of the ritual in the places they need to be. You start positioning the key players around in this ritual with the boy in the middle. Felix, you're instructed that at the height of the ritual, you will have to drink the mutagen that is currently in your hands. Which mutagen? The Draconid. Okay. Just increase the DC of this ritual a little bit. Okay.
I haven't been rolling
big
good
or
tonight,
go
guys.
Who's your roll?
Yet.
I haven't rolled
Oh
yet.
Jesus Christ!
Yes.
I'm a
Okay.
squishy old man.
No, you're not. You're
Can't you just
fine.
throw money at this?
Yeah, I can't. That's why it's a problem.
Come on.
As each of you takes up position, Marana starts the incantation of the spell, and you feel a very odd sensation for those of you who've never cast a spell of any sort or who don't have the ability to. You feel as if have you ever, like, when your hand is numb and they do that thing like that, and you can feel like it feels like something's left your hand. You know what I'm talking about?
Not
Feels like part of your essence has left But you know what I'm talking about?
No.
I do.
Very
Yeah,
little.
the little
but-
thing when you're a kid, like they squeeze your wrist and then you do this a lot, and then they let go and you open your hand and they pinch and pull and it feels like they pulled something out of your hand just because of the sensation coming back. No?
Is this
Bro,
like
you have me
the stranger?
tripping.
Magic.
Your childhood.
Well, so anyway, you
Burn
feel
the
as
witch.
if this essence inside of you is being like tugged, and at first it's physical. You can feel yourself kind of leaning, and you kind of brace yourself and lean back, and then you just feel this energy maybe passing through you as it's centered on Felix. Felix, you're feeling strong, but like those cramps are starting to come back. It's starting to hurt again. But this time it's just more virulent than last time. It's not lasting as long or hurting as much. But when the pain racks you, it racks you fast and hard. And as this ritual begins to take place, a light shines around Felix, centered on his chest, and he floats up off the ground. 1, 2, 3, 5 feet into the air, suspended by magic alone, and the wind starts to pick up.
Not even that tall.
The river, you can hear the water chopping against the beach itself. All of the birds in the area, birds, bats, animals that you had heard, dead silence. As this energy builds, that pain comes back at full, and it is smashing into you, Felix. And there's that moment where you seriously regret having made this choice. You know, you can feel it. With this pain, this is it. You're dead. But something tells you have to hold on. You have to stay focused. Roll a courage check for me. The result of that roll will affect your DC.
Oh, I have that stat. Look at that. Oh, I didn't roll on Yamcha. Yeah, I fucked up.
You did.
It's a 9.
As a
Okay.
human?
Oh, wait.
You can
Yeah, it's
actually
nine.
to courage you can technically re-roll it and take the higher as a human.
Really?
Yeah.
Courageousness of a
3
human.
times per day.
Yep, 3 times. So you can
Really?
re-roll
Per
it.
session.
Yeah, but you have to take it.
That's pretty low, so it doesn't really
I
get
think
much
you
lower
should.
unless I fail.
What I tell you? What about Yamcha?
Was that an 8 or a 6?
6.
No, it's
Nice.
10
Yeah,
plus
10
6.
first, yeah.
16.
16 plus 7? 20. I'm bad at math when it's weird numbers.
You succeed. So, Felix,
24.
Bro.
just when you wanted to just give up and like scream like I don't want this anymore, you steel yourself, and the energy doubles its effort, and the pain is driving you now. You feel angry and almost animal as this energy starts wrapping around you and latching on. This is the point in which, with all of this chaos going on, he would need to drink from the mutagen. And so you call out.
Drink, Felix. Now.
Yeah, I drink.
All right. Time for you to roll your ritual check. Before you give me a number, I'm going to give you the DC. The DC of this check. Actually, I'm going to give you the stamina investment first. You invested 10.
Yes.
That means there were 30 points left over. 40 total, which means divided amongst the 4 of you, if she fails this check,
It's death.
it's 150 points of damage.
Distributed.
Distributed
That doesn't
amongst the
matter.
4 of you. Amongst the 4 of you.
But we're all.
Amongst the 4 of you,
No one's gonna
That's
be here to give us
survivable.
first aid.
that's survivable.
So,
I
that
think.
being said, have you gotten your total?
Yeah, it's 17.
My DC is 14.
Oh, my God.
14!
Yes.
14!
It was 16, and your success knocked it down too.
No shot.
Oh my God. I was like, I'm
Lucky
gonna kill
Felix.
everybody.
Woo!
Great first night, guys. Everybody
So-
died.
No TPK.
You focus this ritual, and the energy it starts to escape you for just a second, and you double down your efforts, and you watch as Felix starts to scream out in pain. But then that pain becomes almost a roar. and there's this blinding light as you watch this energy coalesce into some kind of, just briefly, there might have been something in there, like a creature or something you saw just flash in this blue light of energy and then dissipate. And then, as if the spell had never taken place, all magic from the area is flushed out, and you watch as Felix falls the 5 feet, smashing into the dirt unconscious. But you can see him breathing.
So I run over to him and scoop him up in my arms, give him a massive hug.
I throw him on top of you and squeeze both of you.
At what point do I start having to roll some suffocation rolls here?
They're all hugging.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, they turn me into a witcher and then they kill me by dog pile.
So I try to wake him up. Felix. Felix, can you
start
hear
to
me?
Come to.
Come on, little nephew, you got this.
Felix, you did it.
Stop calling me nephew. It's not my name.
So when he opens his eyes, there's a problem.
They're gone.
No, they're not normal. They're not yellow. The entire eye is a deep and burning ember. It's like an orange red. And you can see as if it's broad daylight. You watch as that red and orange from his eyes seeps into his veins like that blackness did earlier, and it covers the length of his body, bright, shining bright enough to even come through his clothes. And his body temperature is warm. I mean, very warm. And then it all kind of mellows and dissipates. But his eyes stay that burning ember of red.
When did it become morning?
Till next Saturday.
That's
That's it. That's
You did it, little dragon.
Thanks for not killing us.
it. All right,
For
guys.
tossing a coin to
That
your
was a
witcher.
blast. I had a lot of fun. We're going to go ahead and call it a night. So just remember to keep your weapons close, because silver is for monsters and
Steal it.
steel is for men. Have a good night.